Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show.
At this time, the tragic situation of the alien Muskox King made all the aliens feel lingering. One must know that the Muskox King, even in the land of adventures, was the overlord, but now even the hard head of the bull has been blown off. The ferocity of this white wolf was beyond their imagination. As for the alien grizzly bear and the alien reindeer king, who were fighting against Surin, they were even more frightened. At this time, Su Lin didn't waste any time. After all, after opening the hunting talent, every second is very precious. He didn't even have time to kill the alien Muskox King completely. The ferocious light in his eyes flashed again, and he turned and pounced on the reindeer king, who was directing the Muskox King to attack him. Under the huge desire to survive, the alien reindeer king frantically commanded the surrounding muskoxen to besiege Surin. Dozens of muskoxen surrounded Surin from all directions without fear of death. Su Lin gave another howl of a gifted wolf, and the rolling sound wave completely shattered more than a dozen muskoxen into a cloud of blood mist. Flesh and internal organs were flying in all directions under the dark night sky. A wolf howl instantly cleared a bloody road. This is the powerful clearing ability of the talented wolf howl. The cold and fierce light in Su Lin's wolf eyes did not diminish at all, and he rushed directly to this alien reindeer king, because the alien reindeer king was not only severely injured, but also much weaker than the alien grizzly in terms of strength. The most important thing is that there is a parasitic daughter on the heterogeneous grizzly bear, which will appear when the life of the heterogeneous grizzly bear is threatened with death. Therefore, it is better to cut off one finger than to hurt his 10 fingers. The remaining 30 to 40 seconds of the hunting talent are enough to kill the reindeer king. At that time, there will only be a widowed and lonely alien grizzly bear. Su Lin wants to see what it will touch with him. So what if the Cuscuta weed showed up? More than half of Su Lin came here to kill the different species of grizzly bears, because of the different species of daughter. The pure and surging energy in the different grass daughter will be the guarantee for him to advance again. At this time, accompanied by the terrifying howl of the wolf, Su Lin's huge wolf body seemed like a stream of white light, bringing out a huge sonic boom. With his sensitive senses, the alien reindeer king sensed the raging and unparalleled arrogance of the white wolf, and also felt the breath of death coming from the pavement. The herd of muskox under its command could not stop the white wolf at all. A howl of a wolf is like a life-harvesting machine, sweeping away the life of the muskox. Even if these muskoxen have their own talent bonuses, they may not be inferior to some weak alien species to a certain extent. It was still impossible to resist this wolf howl at all, and it was directly shaken to pieces, and the weaker ones were shattered into slag. The bloody appearance made the alien reindeer king feel numb in his heart. It could no longer control the fear in its head, and gave up all dignity. It took advantage of the fact that its talent for chasing the wind had not faded, and started to flee without any regard for face. In nature, only to live, only to survive is the only truth. Boom. A sonic boom followed. It escaped. Yes, the reindeer king started to run away, not daring to confront the white wolf anymore. But it is fast. This white wolf is even faster. The sound of sonic boom intertwined under the dark night sky. The alien reindeer king is like a gray-black streamer, with a speed reaching the speed of sound. But Su Lin was faster. With his hunting talent activated, he reached a speed of 700 meters per second, double the speed of sound. Even though this alien reindeer king reacted quickly to escape, at such an astonishing speed, he couldn't escape Surin's hunting at all. Su Lin's speed is twice as fast as it, and he can approach at 300 to 400 meters per second. Therefore, the escape of the alien reindeer king was futile. The sonic boom clouds kept appearing during the pursuit of both sides, like clouds of fog covering the sight. While the alien reindeer king was fleeing, the breath of death still filled its entire brain. The white wolf behind him was running fast, and the huge roar of rubbing against the air was getting closer. Even the reindeer king could already smell the scorching hot aura of the white wolf. Young. Just when it was about to cry out and desperately increase its speed, out of the corner of its eye, it saw the shadow of the white wolf. The white wolf caught up with it. Then, before it had time to react, the sharp wolf claws slammed hard at the wounded deer head while it was running. Pong! A loud sound of flesh and blood colliding resounded in the cold air. The reindeer king is far inferior to the muskox king in terms of strength, and the defense is even more different. The muskox king can resist Sulin's number of shopping, but it can't. With just one blow, its huge body was knocked out of balance, and it fell hard onto the ice layer. The deer head, which was already severely injured, became bloody again, and the skull was smashed with countless cracks. Under the tremendous force, the reindeer king rolled over a dozen somersaults on the ice layer before slowly stopping. If an ordinary reindeer were tossed and wounded like this, it would be impossible to even stand up. Woke up, however, the alien reindeer king, under the suppression of injuries and pains caused by the talent of chasing the wind, stood up with difficulty just after stopping. After standing up, even though it has the talent to suppress the injury, it still only feels that its limbs are weak, and it doesn't need any strength. But it was still dragging its seriously injured body, running desperately. Now its mind is full of the desire to survive, and it only wants to escape from the clutches of this white wolf. It's just that Su Lin's speed has always been his strongest point. After opening the hunting talent, it is even more impossible for the reindeer king to escape his sight boom. The huge sonic boom roared again. Just when the reindeer king got up, and hadn't escaped a few steps, Surin had already come to it again. Pooh! This time Su Lin didn't use slaps. He had to resolve the battle quickly. Hunting talent is not long. With the speed of galloping, his sharp wolf claws directly pierced the side of the alien reindeer king. Pone, pone, pone. Under the huge charging inertia, Surin and the huge body of the reindeer king smashed into countless raised ice piles along the way. And Surin's wolf claws were also stirring in the reindeer king's body, causing fatal damage. After both sides stopped, the reindeer king's abdomen had already been stirred by the wolf's claws, and a big bloody hole appeared. The blood splattered from inside completely wet the hair on Surin Wolf's head. In the splash of blood, Su Lin's scarlet eyes also became more terrifying. Pooh! He continued to stab the reindeer king's chest fiercely with his thick wolf claws. Want to tear the heart of the reindeer king directly from the side of the abdomen? The heart is also very deadly to aliens. After the heart is torn apart, it means that the blood in the whole body will be in a stagnant state. Even with the tenacious vitality of the alien species, it can't last long. Young. At this time, the reindeer king screamed in pain, trying to break free from the white wolf's claws, but the painful injuries all over his body couldn't support its struggle at all. It was the first to bear the brunt of the countless piles of hard ice that had just been crushed along the way, and many bones and internal organs were also hit with several cracks. The dual talents of chasing the wind and bloodthirsty asylum can no longer suppress its injuries. Now the length of Su Lin's forelimbs alone has reached more than 2 meters, including the sharp claws. It has reached 3 meters. During the penetrating injury, he directly touched the reindeer king's heart from his flank. Puff! The claws stabbed violently, and the heart was torn into pieces like a blood-colored peach. Extreme pain raged in the reindeer king's body. Young. The reindeer king made the last crazy howl and struggle like a flash of light, but he still didn't struggle out. Su Lin resisted the reindeer king's violent kicks, and the wolf's claws also slammed from the reindeer king's body, completely cutting its outer flesh. Tear! A strong smell of blood spread over the surface, and the heart fragments that had just been torn apart by the wolf's claws were also exposed in the cold air. Surin's claws completely dissembled this alien reindeer king. Numerous internal organs, blood, and bones were all exposed. The fierce struggle of this alien reindeer king also became limp at this moment. Even after Su Lin retracted the wolf claws, its huge body couldn't stand up anymore. There is no doubt that this reindeer king will not survive. Another strong man fell in this unprecedented and tragic battle. Many powerful aliens who watched the battle felt the same way. They are not low in IQ. Thinking about it differently, even if they replace the reindeer king, they might die even worse. The alien muskox king, the alien reindeer king, and the alien grizzly bear, these three powerful alien species gather together, but they are no match for this terrifying white wolf. Such a white wolf bathed in the blood of many different species is already beyond the point where they can contend. At this time, Su Lin, after cutting open the reindeer king's belly, saw the faintly fluorescent essence of the reindeer king. It was a thick deer tendon. The fluorescence on this deer tendon is very strong. Without the slightest hesitation, Su Lin hooked the deer tendon with his sharp claws, and then gobbled it up into his stomach. Now Surin's hunting talent has come to an end. There is only a second or two left. Therefore, he was not in a hurry to go shopping with the alien grizzly. There was only this alien grizzly bear left, and the threat to Surin was greatly reduced. After the deer tendons of the different species of reindeer king are eaten into the mouth, the tendons only feel refreshing, and there is also an attractive aroma unique to the essence. After the deer tendon was eaten into the abdomen, it turned into billowing energy and evolution value, and 2 light gray reminder messages appeared in front of Su Lin. Ding! Congratulations to the host for eating heterogeneous reindeer tendons, level 26, and gaining 7,500 evolution points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for eating the leftover talent of heterogeneous reindeer essence, purified to produce a talent serum, 7,500 evolution points. This evolutionary value is more than 1,000 more than the evolutionary value of the heterogeneous snow owl. It can be seen that after level 20, the evolutionary value provided by the heterogeneous species will increase significantly every time it is upgraded. Surin devoured the essence of the alien reindeer king, as if no one was around, and then looked up again at the alien grizzly bear that was waiting in battle. The alien grizzly didn't run away at all. The heterogeneous grizzly bear ran at full speed, with a speed of about 70 to 80 meters per second. This speed was twice as fast as the cheetah before the world changed, and it was equivalent to a supercar with a speed of 200 to 300 kilometers per hour. But it knew that this speed was too slow for the white wolf not far away. How can one escape the supersonic speed of 7 or 800 meters per second at a speed of 70 or 80 meters per second? So the alien grizzly bear didn't run away. It placed its hopes on the mysterious weed parasitic in its body, and also placed its hopes on the tenacity of its own life. In terms of strength alone, it may not be as good as the alien muskox king, who was killed by the white wolf, but also stronger than the reindeer king. After several months of growth in the land of adventures, its strength has improved by leaps and bounds. The most important thing is that it is the bear family, which is the same fierce beast as the wolf family, with sharp claws and fangs. If it is really a life and death battle, it believes that it can cause more serious injuries to this white wolf. At that time, there will be many onlookers waiting to reap the benefits, as well as the daughter in his body, and the final outcome of the white wolf will not be much better. So this alien grizzly was betting that the white wolf would not fight it. It adjusted the momentum of its whole body to the peak, and wanted to let the white wolf see its strong strength and determination. In nature, the hunting desire of hunters is often due to the weakness of the prey, and the lack of resistance. When the prey pluck up the courage and start to fight back, whether it is a wolf, a bear or a tiger and other big hunters, they will start to weigh the gains and losses. The aura of the heterogeneous grizzly was rising wantonly, and a pair of dark bear eyes also showed a resolute expression. But Su Lin didn't pay attention to this alien grizzly bear. He just walked to the dead muskox king's body with unhurried steps. The sharp wolf claws also ripped open the muskox king's stomach, and soon he saw that there was 100 caddies of essence beef brisket inside. Beef brisket is a very delicious part of beef, not to mention the beef brisket on the exotic muskox. In order to prevent the power of the essence from being lost, Su Lin began to devour the essence of the muskox king, in front of many other species of onlookers, in the ice and snow. Tear, with the sound of flesh and blood being torn apart, Su Lin ate the beef brisket, exuding a rich aroma of essence into his mouth. The beef brisket was relatively large. Even Su Lin had to swallow a few mouthfuls before completely swallowing it. The sirloin of the alien muskox king was sweeter and more tender than the sirloin of the alien muskox last time. In terms of deliciousness, this piece of beef brisket can be ranked among the top 3 among the different essence parts that Su Lin has eaten. After the tyrannical devouring power in the body digested the fluorescent beef brisket, 2 light gray message prompts appeared before his eyes again. Ding! Congratulations to the host for eating the muskox brisket, level 31, and gaining 15,000 evolution points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for eating the residual talent essence of the heterogeneous muskox, and purifying a talent serum. The alien muskox king is indeed the strongest among the strong in this place of adventure, and the essence part alone provided Surin with 15,000 evolution points in one go. This made Su Lin a big step away from his next promotion. After swallowing, Su Lin also felt 7 or 8% full, and did not continue to eat. At this time, he raised his wolf head slightly and scanned the surrounding battlefield. At present, due to the absence of the talent increase of the alien reindeer king, and the fact that the muskox king had already died in battle, many muskox who were still running wild just now looked at a loss, not knowing what they were going to do next. But the wolves did not spare these muskoxen. Hundreds of wolves and more than 20 bears continued to hunt these muskoxen. It's just that this time the muskox herd failed to get into a stalemate with the wolves. Their king is dead, their spiritual pillars have collapsed, and their morale has also collapsed. What else do they use to fight bloody wolves? Many muskoxen roared in panic, and then they wanted to break through the wolves and escape in groups. But all these efforts are doomed to be useless, as no muskox can escape the hunting of wolves. The muskox herd also fell into the scene when the deer herd was slaughtered at the beginning. They were all howling crazily and fleeing in panic, with endless fear and terror in their eyes. It is possible to imagine the bloody and cruelty of the wolves hunting for the muskox family, who were originally brave to such an extent. What kind of wolf king there is? What kind of wolf pack will be led? At this time, the alien grizzly bear and the many alien species watching the battle looked at the white wolf bathed in the blood of many powerful alien species, and their eyes were full of solemnity. They don't know how far this white wolf and the wolves under his command will go to stop this bloody conquest. After Su Lin scanned the battlefield again, his wolf eyes still did not look at the alien species grizzly, but looked around at the alien species, standing on the surrounding snow slopes. 33kanshu.com. These alien species who dared to rush over to watch the battle undoubtedly had great confidence in their own combat power. Among them are the peregrine falcon species that appear and disappear from time to time in the sky, standing on a high snow slope. There are several Arctic silver foxes with a size of 3 to 4 meters. There is also an exotic Arctic tern. Among them, the Arctic tern is relatively far away, and it seems that it is not ready to intervene in this tragic battle. As for the several Arctic silver foxes, they were very close. These Arctic silver foxes are about 3 to 4 meters in size. Whether they are Bisulan, muskox king, reindeer king or alien grizzly bears, they are all small and exquisite, but the aura emanating from them is no less powerful than the 2 alien species that Su Lin killed. In Su Lin's eyes, the Arctic fox has always been extremely weak, but since the mysterious iceberg heard about it from the werewolf, Su Lin gradually changed his view. Being able to occupy a place in the mysterious iceberg and this land of adventure is enough to show how powerful the Arctic fox has evolved into a different species. At this moment, Su Lin was standing in the ice and snow. His golden brown eyes squinted at these Arctic silver foxes. The appearance of the Arctic silver fox is even higher than that of the Arctic fox, and its silver hair looks extremely soft and shiny. The face is slightly narrow, the mouth is pointed, the ears are round, and the tail hair is fluffy, which is very beautiful. The fur of the Arctic fox changes according to the seasons. It can turn white in the cold season and black in the warm season, but the fur of the Arctic silver fox changes according to the environment, and it will change to what color it is in, whatever environment it is in. If you restrain your breath, it is equivalent to a hidden talent. Now that several Arctic silver foxes have been watching the battlefield, they naturally also saw Su Lin's eyes. The invincible combat power of the white wolves just now was deeply imprinted in their hearts, so several Arctic silver foxes only confronted Su Lin for a moment, then turned around and retreated for several miles. After all, the speed of the white wolves is unparalleled, and even they can't react at that speed. Once approached by the white wolf, it is hard to escape the end of being torn alive. After a few Arctic silver foxes pulled away for several miles as if showing weakness, the peregrine falcon looming in the sky also withdrew wisely. Even with the hidden talents turned on around, the powerful alien species that had never shown up left silently because they don't want to be an enemy of this white wolf. The most important thing is that this white wolf has beheaded several powerful alien species, and its aura is still at its peak, which is the scariest thing. This means that the fighting power displayed by this white wolf may not be his peak. Unfathomable, such a wolf king, coupled with the crazy bloodthirsty wolves under his command, made it impossible for any alien species to rashly start a war with him. After all the alien species that were onlookers quietly retreated, Su Lin set his sights on the alien species grizzly bear again. When this gaze fell on this alien grizzly bear, it immediately felt boundless oppression. When the heterogeneous grizzly came to this land of adventure, it also experienced a bloody battle before it could gain a foothold. At that time, these alien races watching the battle were very strong. Where would it have thought that it would be so cowardly in the face of white wolves and other species? All retreated. Even those terrifying Arctic silver foxes retreated several miles away. In the center of this tragic battlefield, except for some alien muskoxen that are still resisting, it is the only hostile force left by the wolves. This made the original wishful thinking of the heterogeneous grizzly fall short. The decisive arrogance it just raised seemed to have been chopped off by an invisible knife. Because the alien grizzly doesn't know how it can fight against the white wolf and its brutal pack of wolves on its own. Roar! The heterogeneous grizzly bear tried to use its growl to boost its aura again, but the death gaze of the white wolf, not far away, completely suppressed its aura. The white wolf was standing only 100 meters away from it. His pale blue eyes seemed as calm as water. But the xenogenic grizzly knows that behind this tranquility is the ultimate ferocity and brutality. The pungent blood that has not yet dried up on the white wolf's huge wolf body is the best proof. The two sides confronted each other for another moment, and the calmness in Su Lin's deep blue eyes disappeared in an instant, and an extremely cold murderous intent erupted suddenly. This alien grizzly is an old friend of his. Before the great change of the world, he had bumped into the ice in the territory of the wolves. After that, it escaped and ascended to heaven many times. But today, the good luck of this alien species of grizzly is over, and it will be killed in this battle. Its flesh and blood and parasitic daughter are the best evolutionary fuel for Surin. Ah! An earth-shattering wolf howl sounded, and Su Lin took the lead in rushing towards this alien grizzly bear. Boom! A sonic boom followed in the dark night. In this life and death threat, the heterogeneous grizzly also abandoned all the timidity and caution in the past. Its huge body stood upright. Its huge bear paw slapped on its chest, and then it roared almost crazily. Come, roar! A deep bear roar sounded, and there was unwilling resentment and obsession in this roar. It is parasitized by the different grass daughter, and has adventures one after another that other alien species can't even imagine. In the future, it is destined to grow into a towering giant bear in this world. How could it be willing to die like this? But this white wolf is determined to kill it. So fight with your back against the water. If you win, you will perish. Under the great threat of life and death, the alien grizzly mobilized all of its combat power to fight with the white wolf. It never thought of winning the white wolf. It just didn't want to lose. It just wanted to survive. Under the huge urge to survive, and with the blood boiling all over his body, the daughter, which had fallen asleep in the grizzly bear's body since Su Lin chopped off a branch last time, was also awakened. Crash! Several strips of paper exuding emerald green fluorescence suddenly stretched out from the back of the alien grizzly bear. These branches also sensed the situation of the parasitic host, and began to follow the alien grizzly bear to attack Surin. The howling of wolves and the howling of bears, intertwined together under the dark night sky. Although Su Lin's hunting talent has faded, his speed is still amazing. Not to mention the clumsy alien grizzly, even the alien reindeer king, who has just turned on the main bonus speed talent, can barely catch up with his speed. Wherever the sonic boom sounded, Surin's wolf shadow would appear there. The dreamlike speed, combined with the tyrannical aura rising from the huge wolf body, made the many alien species that had retreated far away still feel very happy. Su Lin rushed towards the alien grizzly bear quickly, and slammed his claws at the alien grizzly bear. The sound of a huge collision of flesh and blood echoed. Pung! He and the grizzly bear of different races fought together, and both sides had claws tens of centimeters long, and they clashed and collided fiercely in the cold air. As for the several branches of the different grass daughter, they are also extremely hard. When Su Lin collided with it, the sound of crisp and piercing gold and iron resounded. Although the strength of this alien grizzly bear is not as strong as that of the alien muskox king, it is superior in the flexibility of its body and the variety of attacks, with its sharp claws and fangs. Coupled with the several daughter branches protruding from the body behind him, Su Lin fell into a stalemate bloody battle for a while. The speed of 300 to 400 meters per second is matched with the wild attack power of 20 to 30 tons. Even if it is a different species of grizzly bear with the defense talent turned on, the huge bear's body is left with terrible wounds. But during the attack, Su Lin was also stabbed, or whipped by multiple branches of daughter. Several small blood holes and several long blood marks also appeared on the wolf's body. The wound caused by Cuscuta is still left with an emerald green fluorescence that continues to destroy and tear his wound. This made Su Lin use a recovery potion to restore his physical strength to its peak, and began to actively operate the healing talent to refine the emerald green fluorescence. This emerald green fluorescence is like the icy air on the huge iceberg lotus. In fact, after devouring a lot of iceberg lotuses, every attack of Su Lin also contained a trace of icy coldness. This icy air can also cause damage wantonly at the wound, and it can also greatly prevent the healing of the wound. But relatively speaking, the ice-cold air contained in Su Lin's attack is far from the emerald green fluorescence on the Cuscuta, which is not conspicuous. However, this icy air actually acted on the bloody wound of the heterogeneous grizzly bear. Even if the alien grizzly turned on the defensive talent, it was almost unable to suppress the deterioration of the injury. During the several shopping sessions, it even felt that every bone in its body was about to be shattered by this white wolf. Roar! Miserable and angry bear roars resounded again and again. Facing the terrifying injuries caused by Surin, the alien grizzly could only turn on its defensive talent to resist. It doesn't have the heaven-defying healing talent to recover and suppress the wounds in its body, let alone refine the icy air raging at the wound. So under the extreme pain, it fought back against Su Lin with all its might. Soon it emitted a blood-red fluorescence again. This fluorescence is obviously the alien grizzly that has opened up its other talent again. B-level blood rage. The level of this blood rage talent is the highest that Su Lin has seen among all the alien species. The bonus it brings is also very terrifying. This talent directly increased the overall strength of the heterogeneous grizzly by 70%. With such a terrifying bonus, the endurance and defense of the alien grizzly surpassed that of Su Lin. Even the attack power is equal to the attack power of Su Lin's right claw after being strengthened. With the addition of the dual talents of defense and blood rage, The heterogeneous grizzly bear also seemed to glow with new vitality, and fought with Surin once again while roaring. Roar! The roar of the alien grizzly bear was like a muffled thunder, exploding on the Arctic ice sheet. The emerald green fluorescence of the daughter behind him is also a masterpiece. Several branches have fallen off from the body, and they are killing Su Lin from multiple directions. The sound of tyrannical impact was endless, and shocking blood flowers bloomed brilliantly. Surin has, using a recovery potion, his physical strength is at its peak. The healing talent is also actively driven, and it is running crazily. Emerald green gas was evaporating from the blood hole pierced by the daughter branch on the huge wolf's body, and the injury was recovering at a terrifying speed. The tyrannical howl of the wolf swept over every corner of the ice. This alien species of grizzly bear is really fighting, and its terrifying combat power is not inferior to that of the alien species of muskox king. Even Surin, relying on supersonic speed, fell into a bloody battle for a while. But during the bloody battle between the two sides, the wolves under Sulin's command finally hunted and killed all the muskox kings. The little lone wolf tore the little muskox that had evolved into a different species alive on the spot. It was bathed in the different flesh and internal organs of the young muskox, and it finally broke through to level 14. Now this battlefield has become a bloody world. The corpses of the muskox clan were everywhere, and the smell of blood was so strong that it pungent. Hundreds of muskoxen were killed to the point of extinction, and even the cubs and female muskoxen were completely exterminated by wolves. Such a tragic battle made the rest of the alien species feel terrified, but the bloodthirsty excitement still remained in the eyes of all the members of the wolf pack. After slaughtering the muskox clan, they all surrounded the battlefield of Silent and the alien grizzly, under the command of the little lone wolf. It's just a little lone wolf bathed in the blood of a different species of muskox, and he hasn't lost his mind due to the killing. It knows that the battlefield of its own wolf king, and the alien grizzly is not within their reach. So just enclosing the battlefield, on the one hand, it can put pressure on the heterogeneous grizzly bears, and on the other hand, it can also prevent the rest of the hunters in this land of adventures from sneaking up. Relying on the keen senses of the wolves, the little lone wolf naturally felt the extremely powerful aura around him during the bloody battle just now. Now that the morale of the wolves is high, plus several alien species in the wolf pack, it is not a problem to block 2 or 3 alien species of more than 20 levels. If there are more, I am afraid that the wolves will be powerless. Claws to flesh, flesh and blood splatter. Surin and the alien grizzly staged an extremely violent aesthetics in this battlefield that is drawing to a close. It's just that Su Lin has a heaven-defying talent for healing, and he can recover quickly from severe injuries. Under the ebb and flow, even without the hunting talent, Su Lin still gradually gained the upper hand. The blood-burning potion is always ready. Su Lin was not guarding against the dying counterattack of this alien grizzly bear, but was guarding against the real main body of this exotic grass daughter. Although any exotic flower and grass has natural limitations, its extraordinary means and pure energy are beyond the reach of most alien species. So even though Su Lin started to gain the upper hand, he still didn't feel relieved and vigilant. A pair of wolf eyes are full of coldness in the fight. Just when Su Lin led the pack of wolves to kill in the land of adventure, until the ice field was covered with blood, in the northernmost border of Siberia, a group of fully armed new human warriors are undergoing review. Behind him are many experts and scholars who have conducted in-depth research on the Arctic ice sheet. They are about to explore the Arctic region, but the expressions in their eyes are very dignified. After all, as far as they know, many mutated creatures have fled to the North Pole during this period. It even included the invincible tiger, that ranked in the top 20 on the Alien Beast Danger Index. So to explore such a dangerous North Pole, they are not optimistic. The most important thing is that there is no signal in this snowy and icy land. The unknown is the greatest fear. Once inside, they will no longer be able to communicate with the outside world. The final outcome is either to return safely with the information of the mutated creatures inside, or to bury the body in the ice and snow. Warriors, I entrust you with the task of exploring the North Pole this time. I will always remember your voices and smiles, and I believe the whole world will remember it, because the North Pole is the pole of the world, and it can lead to all parts of the world along the Arctic Ocean. So exploring the North Pole is not only for our Russia, but also for the whole world. A serious white man in a formal suit is saying his final farewell to this group of new human teams. 133x.com. Most of these new human beings, who have unlocked the genetic shackles, have a body size of 2.78 meters, which can be called giants among normal-sized humans. It's just that the huge body doesn't look bulky. On the contrary, it has the vigor and agility like a cheetah. These new humans are holding very exaggerated and terrifying individual combat weapons in their hands. The huge double-barreled Vulcan cannon, the super sniper rifle more than 2 meters long, the latest nano-alloy protective clothing, etc., as well as various top-notch detection drones and mechanical equipment. In addition, there are specially modified heavy tanks that can adapt to the cold temperature. If a new human team with such a firepower configuration is used in previous human battles, a new human team can fight at least 1,000 ordinary soldiers. It can be used to fight against mutated creatures. Even if the firepower configuration is powerful, it still seems very weak. After all, mutated creatures cannot be counted according to common sense. That invincible tiger alone once made thousands of heavily armed soldiers of an ace reinforcement regiment helpless, and was finally killed out of the siege. Therefore, even if the white man, in power in front of him, talked about the extravagantly, they could not dispel the heavy heart. As for talking about fighting for human beings, it's bullshit. If it weren't for having the handle in the hands of these powerful people, no one would have undertaken the dangerous task of exploring the North Pole. And the group of scholars behind him who used to have in-depth research and understanding of the Arctic were brought into the team by semi-force nature. Among them, apart from Tiffany and Divina, there are also several scholars who happened to go to the North Pole for research before the world changed. Less than a year has passed since the great changes in the world. I think that no matter how great the changes in the North Pole are, the topography should still have some reservations. With the guidance of these research scholars, the exploration activities will be easier to carry out. After listening to the farewell and fierce words of the white rulers, the members of the expedition team also barely cheered up their morale, raised their hands and shouted, "Fight for mankind." In fact, all of them felt disgusted by this hypocritical statement. It's just that in today's era, where mutated creatures are rampant, fighting for human beings has become a belief in many people's hearts, and it has also become a placebo for them to rush to the battlefield of death. After the last bugle sounded, a new human team consisting of more than 30 people set off for the North Pole. In addition to the new human team of more than 30 people, there is still a heavy armor group as a follow-up force. The firearms strength of the heavy armored regiment is also amazing. There are more than 80 specially made tanks that can cross the ice zone, more than 50 special trucks for transporting supplies, more than 30 armed helicopters, more than 26th generation supersonic fighters, and so on. There are also countless small drones, special individual missiles, and large caliber sniper rifles called sniper guns. These will be the greatest confidence and capital for human beings to fight against mutant creatures. After the expedition team set off slowly, Tiffany and Divina also sat in a heavy tank clinging to each other. The two of them no longer had the laughter they had when they entered the North Pole. They just held each other's hands tightly, and there was an uncontrollable low and negative look in their beautiful big eyes. They even felt that everything in the past year was like a dream. A year ago, they were all carefree students who could live a good life on campus, but a year later, they were almost reduced to refugees. The homeland has become ruins, and all the wealth accumulated in the past has disappeared. The paper bits that were once obtained have become waste paper in the true sense. In today's world, only US dollars and foreign flesh and blood are hard currencies. As for them who were young and beautiful in peaceful times, their pure and beautiful faces were also tinged with vicissitudes due to the hard times of the past year. Even they are not bad, and they have some uses for the government, so no one comes to trouble them, and the family members are also arranged into a temporary residence, and their former female classmates, in order to survive. Many of them bowed their knees to please the powerful, and became a vase for them to play. In order to survive and to get official care for their families, many male students went to the front line and became cannon fodder, and many of them worked day and night while rebuilding their homes, just in exchange for 3 meals a day. Under the terrifying changes in the world, the whole people are suffering. When Tiffany and Divina got on the heavy tank, they also knew in their hearts that the possibility of them returning alive was not very high. Perhaps those leading new human teams said they would protect their personal safety, but when you really encounter life and death threats, it would be good not to push them out as a shield. This is not a joke, but a bloody fact. With a strong desire to survive, no matter whether it is a human or a beast, the things that can be done will be far beyond imagination. At this time in the northernmost part of Siberia, this human expedition slowly entered the North Pole. In the freezing cold, everyone maintained the highest vigilance and the lowest key behavior, did not touch any vegetation in the Arctic, and did not intend to provoke any species, because they came here just to explore the mutated creatures in this area. The more low-key and unnoticed they are, the safer they are. When many human beings slowly entered the North Pole to explore, in Senhan's adventure land, Sulin also fought to the point of madness, with the different species of grizzly bear, and the different grass dodder. The two sides fought to the extreme, with the support of powerful healing talents, even if Sulin was 1 against 2. he still had the absolute upper hand. In a real bloody battle, the healing talent showed the power it should have. The importance of the healing talent is definitely not inferior to that of the hunting talent, and the resilience it brings is unmatched by any talent. With such a talent for recovery, as long as Su Lin has sufficient physical strength, he can always maintain his peak combat power. Ah! Roar! The loud howling of wolves and the low roar of bears sounded again in the dark night. The alien grizzly and Su Lin fought dozens of times, and their bodies were covered in blood. Su Lin's strength has reached a very terrifying level. Even if he killed the muskox king, it was just a bloody fight. Now, after dozens of fights with the different species of grizzly bears, they only suppressed it and the different grass daughter. This shows the terrifying combat power of the two of them working together. Su Lin's eyes were full of coldness, and he was so mad that his sharp wolf claws cut through the air from time to time, causing a scream. This battle was brutal to the extreme. The surrounding land for tens of miles was a mess, and even several of the surrounding wolves were affected by the aftermath of the battle. Even if it was just the aftermath of the battle, these wolves were seriously injured in an instant. If it weren't for the cousin's talent for recovery, the wolves would have to let the wolves fend for themselves with such injuries. After dragging the injured wolves down, the little lone wolf ordered the wolves to expand the encirclement, but it and the alien female polar bear were both hovering around the edge of the battlefield, trying to cooperate with the wolf king to attack the alien grizzly bear. It's just that in the frantic flying of the branches of the different grass daughter, they have never found a chance. Cuscuta is extremely terrifying, even if it is just a branch. It is not something that the little lone wolf or the female polar bear can compete with, but this also highlights Su Lin's terrifying combat power even more. He fought against the alien grizzly bear and the exotic daughter alone, and gained the upper hand, even if the hunting talent has not been activated, only relying on the healing talent. His strength is second to none in the land of adventures. Just after another fight with the alien grizzly, Su Lin also caught the gap between the siege of the alien grass daughter. Pone! He slammed his claws fiercely on the deadliest nose of the alien grizzly bear. With one claw down, the nose of the heterogeneous grizzly bear was dripping with blood, and the tip of the nose, which was the size of a durian, was torn into pieces by Su Lin's sharp wolf claws. In the dark of night, the bears never rely on their eyesight to find their targets, because their eyesight is not outstanding. Even if the grizzly bears of different species are in the dark, their eyesight is only comparable to that of ordinary wolves. But the sense of smell is different, and the sense of smell of the bear tribe is a natural strength. Not to mention the breath of the white wolf at close range, even the breath of the wolf tribe 10 kilometers away, it can smell it. But now its nose, the main source of its sense of smell, was torn to pieces by the white wolf's claws. The pain of the torn nose, and the panic of loss of smell, made the alien grizzly howl like crazy. However, this roar didn't have the slightest effect. On the contrary, Su Lin found a flaw again, and slapped one of its eyes completely blind with a fierce claw. The eyeballs were snapped out by the sharp claws, and dropped to the ground. The alien grizzly bear's defenses were wide open in severe pain, which made the ferocious light in Su Lin's eyes flicker even more violently. Boom! The sound of the sonic boom sounded, and Su Lin seized the opportunity. He opened his big mouth to bite the alien grizzly bear. Without the auxiliary fighting of the different species of grizzly, only the hunting of the different grass daughter, there is no Su Lin who can stop the supersonic speed. The strongest attack of the wolves is to bite. Even Su Lin is no exception. The sharpness of the fangs and the strong bite force are far superior to those of the wolf's claws. It's just that the fangs are generally used for fatal blows, and Surin rarely uses them. But now he has been fighting this alien grizzly bear for too long, and he used a recovery potion. But his physical strength is still about to bottom out, so Su Lin didn't drag this alien species any longer. He is ready to kill with one blow. Relying on his dreamlike speed, Su Lin broke through the siege of the daughter branch, and ran directly to the neck of the different species of grizzly bear. Katsa! The sharp fangs completely pierced the neck of the alien grizzly bear. The alien grizzly, whose eyes and sense of smell were severely damaged, had no time to react. Su Lin's fangs completely tore open the throat of the alien grizzly bear, and blood splashed out from its body. It splashed on Surin's hair and also splashed into his mouth. Even Surin was still sucking the blood of the alien grizzly bear. The different species of grizzly bear is full of different species of flesh and blood, not only rich in pure energy, but also swallowed a lot of exotic flowers and plants, so its blood actually contains faint freshness of flowers and plants, which makes the blood more delicious. While devouring, Su Lin also had light gray message reminders appearing in front of his eyes. In fact, he had devoured the flesh and blood of a different species grizzly bear cub before, but this alien species grizzly bear was obviously stronger. It has devoured many exotic flowers and plants, which makes its genetic flesh and blood fragments significantly exceed that of the alien grizzly cub. The evolutionary value obtained by Su Lin also reached more than 200 points, not inferior to the evolutionary value of that alien polar bear. After just sucking a few mouthfuls of blood, Surin gained thousands of evolutionary points. At this time, relying on the powerful inertia of the charge, Su Lin also directly threw the alien grizzly to the ground by biting it. But this heterogeneous grizzly bear was unwilling to fall down like this, and was devoured by the white wolf, and was still fighting desperately. The thick bear paws made a whistling sound in the air. There was a sound of flesh and blood colliding, and the thick bear paw slapped Su Lin's wolf body. It's just that the alien grizzly bear that was thrown to the ground by Su Lin didn't have a good point of attack, and the slap of the bear's paw didn't even exert half of its power. It can barely break Su Lin's hair, which is harder than steel, leaving a blood stain. Due to the long bloody battle with Surin, the alien grizzly bear's defensive talent and blood rage talent have already receded. Now he is relying on his own willpower to bear the pain of being bitten, so he can feel more clearly that his throat has been torn off. The blood is flowing freely, and the huge blood value is also rapidly disappearing. The breath of death permeates every corner of the body. The alien grizzly began to struggle more intensely, but it was of no avail. Now, without the bonus of the blood rage talent, without a good point of focus, it can't exert all its strength at all. The sound of flesh and blood being torn apart sounded. Surin resisted its attack, and almost completely tore off its neck with his bloody mouth. Facing such pain, the alien grizzly bear could hardly resist no matter how tenacious its vitality was. Blood flowed profusely. Blood spewed out like those who don't want money. The sharpness of Su Lin's fangs not only broke the throat of the alien grizzly bear, but also bit its neck to pieces. After experiencing such a heavy injury, although the alien grizzly is still alive, it can only be regarded as lingering. Once the neck is bitten off by the white wolf, it is equivalent to breaking the connection between the bear's head and the body. Such a heavy injury is also very fatal to the alien species. Whoosh, whoosh. The huge body of the alien grizzly bear fell on the ice, unable to stand up, and he gasped heavily. He wanted to inhale air into his body, but his throat was broken, and he could only hear the sound of air leaking while breathing. Looking at the white wolf in its only jet black bear eyes, it also showed a little more pleading from the ferocity just now, with a strong desire to survive. Su Lin probably wouldn't hesitate to ask this alien species of grizzly to do anything now. It's just that Su Lin didn't express at all. All he wanted was the life of this alien grizzly bear. The two sides are old friends and old rivals. They met before the great change of the world, and the two sides have confronted each other several times. Today is the time to get to know each other thoroughly. This alien species of grizzly is too much to seek profit and avoid disaster. Even if Su Lin receives it under the command of the wolves, he will not feel at ease in the future. Under the threat of death, this alien grizzly can surrender itself, and in the future, under the threat of death, it can also betray itself. Su Lin is not afraid, but the wolves under his command will definitely receive a fatal blow. So this heterogeneous grizzly bear must be beheaded. With the earth-shattering howl of a wolf, Su Lin attacked this dying alien grizzly again with cold eyes. Katsa. There was another loud snapping sound, and the strength of Su Lin's whole body exploded completely tearing off the huge wolf head of the alien grizzly bear from its body. Immediately, the blood on the neck of the heterogeneous grizzly bear started to splatter again, making the blood stain Su Lin's hair even more wet. The pungent smell of blood permeates and spreads throughout the battlefield. No matter how unwilling the grizzly bear is, it will be powerless to return to heaven after all. As for the branches of Cuscuta Xenogras, although they also returned to help at this time, it was too late. Compared with the attack of wolf claws, Su Lin's fangs are incomparable. Just 2 bites can completely kill the alien grizzly bear. The alien grizzly was dead, and his consciousness dissipated in the cold air. Su Lin didn't hold anything back from this old friend. Back then, Su Lin completed the first genetic transformation, relying on the clues left by this alien grizzly bear. It's just that on the way of evolution, there are mostly blood and killings. This alien grizzly bear has made enemies with him many times, so he should have thought that there would be a day when the bloody ice field would come. In fact, this alien grizzly bear didn't show up during the wolves' expedition, and Su Lin didn't mind letting it go. After all, it has been several months since the last meeting in the wolf pack territory. Coupled with the previous few confrontations, the heterogeneous grizzly retreated wisely without making a move. There is no deep hatred between the two parties, but this heterogeneous grizzly came to join in the fun, so he couldn't blame others for what happened. At this moment, Su Lin, who was already stained with blood and turned into a blood wolf, after the alien grizzly bear died completely. The expression in a pair of dark blue wolf eyes not only did not relax at all, but became more dignified, because from the corpse of this heterogeneous grizzly bear, he suddenly felt an aura of grass and trees of the same origin as several daughters waking up. Just when this breath was revealed in the air, Su Lin's earth-shattering wolf howl sounded again. No matter how strong the main body of this wee daughter is, he wants to see if he can't bear the wolf howl at such a close distance. The tyrannical rolling sound waves exploded in the cold air in an instant, and rushed towards the grass and trees at a speed of thousands of meters per second. With the howl of a wolf, rolling sound waves swept across the ice and snow at such a short distance. Even the alien species of more than 20 levels had to be severely injured by this wolf howl. Pong! A huge vibration sounded. This tyrannical roar of wolves collided with a dense emerald green fluorescence. The huge shock wave brought between the two sides caused several cracks in the surrounding ice layer. In this violent collision, the back of the dead alien grizzly was completely torn apart, and a very thick daughter with a length of more than 10 meters was displayed under the dark night sky. The fluorescence of this daughter is extremely dazzling under the dark night sky. With the light vibration of the main body of the daughter, Su Lin's wolf howling sound waves were all blocked. Only the violent shock wave is still showing its power. The surrounding ice layer is crushed and exploded under the shock wave, splashing in mid-air, like a rain of crushed ice. The main body of this daughter hovers and parasitizes on the spine of the different species of grizzly bear, and it has been absorbing the nutrients and energy from the flesh and blood of the different species of grizzly bear from its body. Unlike Bingshanlian and Hygen Gaolan, this daughter is not able to absorb pure energy from the world by itself, but needs the host as an intermediary. It can be seen that no matter whether it is an animal or a plant, even after the mutation, they still retain some restrictions of the original species. However, from the perspective of the rapid growth of heterogeneous grizzly bears, there should be mutual benefits between the parasitic plant and the host. Parasitic plants can help the host find more pure energy, making its strength grow rapidly. During the rapid growth of the host body, most of the pure and surging energy and nutrients in its body will be absorbed by the parasitic plant, so that the parasitic plant can achieve faster evolution. It's just that Surin, who has devoured evolution, doesn't need parasitic plants at all. If there is a parasitic plant that wants to parasitize him, then I am afraid that it will be swallowed by the tyrannical devouring power until there is not even a scum left. Therefore, in the eyes of other alien species, this daughter may be a great opportunity for rapid growth. But in Su Lin's eyes, the plant essence and pure energy of this daughter is just the best fuel for his promotion this time. At this time, he looked at the huge main body of Cuscuta weed in front of him, and his pair of dark blue wolf eyes were dignified, but they also showed a wilder fighting spirit. Immediately afterwards, there was another earth-shattering wolf howl, and Su Lin's wolf howl talent was activated again. Now that he still has the talent of howling wolves 3 times, he knows that one howl of wolves may not be able to kill the Cuscuta weed. So the 3 wolf howls came out together, and the terrifying sound waves they brought out wave after wave rushed towards the different grass daughter. Pong, pong, pong. The violent impact and roar also followed. The speed of Surin's wolf howling sound waves is as fast as 1 kilometer per second. No creature can escape at such a speed. At such a close distance, this Cuscuta weed can only emit bright emerald green fluorescence all over its body to resist the tyrannical wolf howling sound waves. The continuous sonic attacks made Cuscuta Vrigata back hundreds of meters even though its body was glowing emerald green, and there were slight cracks on the huge body of Cuscuta. But at this moment, Su Lin didn't hesitate for a moment at all, and with the power of the howling of the wolf, rushed towards the different grass Cuscuta. The sharp wolf claws were fully exposed, and the more than 30-centimeter claws were still stained with the blood of a different species of grizzly bear. After rushing over, Su Lin started a fierce fight with the main body of this wee daughter. The rest of the branches of the different grass Cuscuta were also besieging towards Su Lin, and the sound of gold and iron colliding could be heard from time to time. Just when the two sides had just played against each other for several rounds, Cuscuta different grass showed a trace of mental fluctuations. This mental wave was caught by Su Lin very keenly. It was a wave that wanted to stop. Sure enough, after this mental fluctuation appeared, the main body of daughter quickly entered a defensive state. The huge main body hovered in a circle, only emitting a strong emerald green fluorescence. As for the numerous daughter branches that came to besieged, they also stopped the siege, rustled around Su Lin, and even sent a branch to Su Lin on their own initiative. The branch sent to Su Lin lost consciousness by itself, under the control of the main body, and the emerald green fluorescence disappeared, which meant that only the pure plant essence and surging energy were left on the branch. Such a gesture of goodwill is obvious. At this time, the daughter that has already evolved into a different weed, the consciousness in the main body is also looking at the white wolf in front of it. The world in the consciousness of exotic flowers and plants is different from the world in the eyes of animals. All living things together are a mass of energy in their consciousness. The reason why it chose the heterogeneous grizzly bear was because the energy body of the heterogeneous grizzly bear was hot and full of vitality. Such a group of energy bodies was extremely powerful before the great changes in the world. So different grass chose the grizzly bear, and this grizzly bear never failed its choice in the future, all the way by devouring a lot of pure energy. He grew to a giant bear with a size of 10 meters. During this period of time, Cuscuta heterophylla naturally ushered in its own rapid development, but now daughter is horrified to find that the energy body representing the white wolf in front of her eyes is not something hot and energetic that can be described, but like a raging fire, and the power of this fire seems to be able to burn everything in the world. In addition, there is a force in the center of the fire that makes it feel extremely frightening. This power is dark and deep, as if it is above everything. Therefore, after just a moment of fighting with the white wolf, Cuscuta different grass gave up. This white wolf is definitely not something it can contend with. With such a gesture of favor, the white wolf's hunting did indeed stop. It's just that the white wolf's eyes are as calm as water. Let it know that just a twig's favor is not enough. The consciousness of exotic flowers and plants is far less complicated than that of animals. They are simple and pure. After seeing that the white wolf intended to accept his overtures, he immediately cut off all the branches it split off, annihilating the consciousness above them, and sent them to the white wolf. These branches also take a lot of time to divide for Cuscuta isophyllum, but compared to the life of the subject, these costs are still within the acceptable range. Even after seeing that the white wolf still did not move, daughter was silent for a moment, and finally cut off 1/5 of its main body, and sent it to the white wolf. In the cruel nature, if it is a bloody fight between hunters, such compromise negotiations will be carried out anyway. This is true even for the alien species of grizzly bears, who seek profit and avoid disaster very much. Because the hunters who survived in nature have been killed for a long time, they all understand a truth: the more they show weakness, the more they will arouse each other's desire to hunt and kill. So even if you are in a weak position, you must forcibly raise your aura, so that those hunters who have plans for themselves will give up. However, the consciousness of this daughter plant has not been born for a long time, and it does not understand these principles. This plant of daughter cut off 1/5 of its main body by itself, and too much of the pure energy and the essence of plants and trees in the body have passed away. But fortunately, Su Lin did not continue to do anything after accepting the favor of daughter, because the living daughter is much more useful to Su Lin and the wolves than the dead one hum. At this time, after seeing that the white wolf in front of him accepted his kindness, and the killing intent and fighting intent that had risen all over his body began to subside gradually, daughter different grass felt relieved. The huge main body shook, and continued to exude glistening brilliance. In fact, it showed another layer of meaning to the white wolf, that is, it wanted to find a new parasitic host. As a parasitic plant, even if it is broken through the original genetic shackles, it still cannot independently exist in the world for a long time. It can only survive and improve by relying on the parasitic host. In its eyes, this white wolf is the best host, much stronger than that alien grizzly bear, but the dark and mysterious power of this white wolf really makes it feel intimidated. I'm afraid that if I have just parasitized the white wolf, I will eat that mysterious power until there is not even a scum left. But apart from this white wolf, it can also feel several good energy bodies from the many wolves and bears surrounding the battlefield. So I want to pick one of the parasites. In fact, daughter also knew that the white wolf might not be able to understand its consciousness, so when it was about to use its main body to draw some simple hints on the ice, it suddenly felt a very pure spiritual wave. This spiritual fluctuation truly communicates with it across species. This made it suddenly concentrate its consciousness on the white wolf again, which symbolized that there was indeed a trace of silver spiritual power emanating from the energy body of the white wolf. This terrified daughter. It never expected that the white wolf in front of it was so terrifying that it couldn't imagine it. Even this kind of mental power that can be called against the sky has it. You must know this silver spiritual power. It has only been encountered by a few Arctic silver foxes in this land of adventures. Even the spiritual power exuded by the Arctic silver fox is far less pure than that of the white wolf. This scene silenced daughter's consciousness for a long time, before continuing to communicate with the white wolf. At the same time, it is also very grateful for its good gesture just now. Otherwise, even if the white wolf doesn't use the mysterious and profound power in his body, he may have the power to completely destroy it with his own combat power alone. Spiritual power is the sharpest weapon to destroy the consciousness of exotic flowers and plants. At this time, During the intermittent communication between the two sides, several Arctic silver foxes in the distance have already noticed something. They all took a deep look at Bai Lang with solemn eyes, then turned and left, because they know that the unprecedentedly tragic battle in the land of adventures has come to an end. This white wolf and the wolves under his command won a decisive victory. I am afraid that the wolves will become the biggest overlord in the land of adventures in the future. The wolves will also occupy the territory of the muskox king, the alien grizzly bear, the alien reindeer king, the alien snow owl, and the alien lynx couple. These territories together are equivalent to half of the territory of Land of Adventures. It can be said that after this battle, the wolves have become the uncrowned kings of the Land of Adventures, but the wolves are indeed qualified to be the king of the Land of Adventures. After all, not counting the terrifying fighting strength of the white wolf, the fighting strength of the wolves under his command alone can hunt and kill at least 2 or 3 alien species of 20 or so levels. Once many wolves and bears are really fighting for their lives with the cooperation of tactics, the power they will display is very terrifying. At this time, after the few Arctic silver foxes had retreated, the other powerful alien species watching the battle might also feel that there was nothing to gain, and they all left in silence. But they all had an indelible fear in their hearts towards this mighty pack of wolves and this invincible white wolf king. With such a terrifying pack of wolves and wolf kings stationed in the Land of Adventures, they will probably spend their days in fear in the future. When many alien species retreated, Su Lin also reached a consensus in the intermittent conversation with daughter. Su Lin always welcomes the addition of exotic flowers and plants, because the exotic flowers and plants are very useful both for Surin itself and for the development of the wolves. Su Lin promised Kuskut a different grass to help it provide a different species as a parasitic host. At the same time, in addition to helping the wolves find more pure energy, daughter will also provide the wolves with a branch containing pure energy and plant essence every other month. Such a mutually beneficial ending is also the best for Su Lin. Next, with a long roar, Su Lin signaled that all the alien species in the wolf pack would surround them for the choice of Kuskuta. As for the rest of the ordinary wolves and bears, let them start cleaning the battlefield. And by the way, some wolves went out to look for the ice cave stationed in this place of adventure. In the future, Su Lin intends to keep some wolves to stay here for a long time, so it is natural to choose an ice cave, or karst cave to live in. By the way, the food harvest from today's bloody killing can also be hoarded. There is no doubt that the results of today's battle of the wolves are incomparably rich. Counting those killed by Selin, more than a dozen of the alien species alone died in this unprecedented battle. These flesh and blood of the alien species can not only provide Su Lin with a lot of evolutionary value, but also make the wolf pack's strength develop rapidly. In addition, there are more than 200 carcasses of reindeer and more than 100 carcasses of muskox. These reindeer and muskox are much larger than those in the outside world. Therefore, the combination of these made the wolves suddenly increase their food reserves by at least 5 or 6 million caddies. 5 or 600,000 caddies. Such a scale of food was beyond the imagination of any member of the wolf pack, but today under the leadership of the Wolf King, such a brilliant hunting result has been achieved. This made many wolves look at the Wolf King with fanaticism and respect. At the same time, the cohesion of the wolves almost reached its peak after such an unprecedented battle ended. Today's battle surpassed any hunting gains of the wolves in the past. 5 to 600,000 caddies of food reserves meant that the wolves would have more than enough food in the coming days, even if they didn't go hunting for a year or two. The joy of such a huge harvest also dilutes the exhaustion of the wolves after the battle. Many wolves are diligently cleaning the battlefield, and after Su Lin distanced himself from daughter, several light gray message reminders appeared in front of his eyes. Showdown of talent, outnumbered, fight in blood, fierce battle, combat rating, SS. This battle rating, SS, obtained 3 enhanced serums, 3 recovery potions, and 30 evolution potions. This time the battle rating reached SS, but today's series of battles are worthy of this battle rating. The battle rating rewards given by the SS score are very generous, and there are 3 enhanced serums alone. Enhanced serum is not a small increase in one's own combat power, especially after strengthening the brain last time. Su Lin could feel the new spiritual power very mysterious. With the assistance of mental power, Su Lin can control the breathing and consumption of the whole body to a near perfect level. A combat power can be brought into full play to its peak. This unprecedented battle also had the assistance of spiritual power to achieve invincible results. Without the assistance of mental power, even if he could win, at least one recovery potion would have to be wasted. Now he is very satisfied with the rewards he has received. Next, as the wolves sweep the field, Su Lin also mobilized all his senses to sense his surroundings again, and found that all the alien species had indeed retreated. Only then did he completely relax, and Su Lin went to the battlefield to devour the essence of the hunted alien species. Ding! Congratulations to the host for eating the muskox brisket, level 13, and gaining 1,200 evolution points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for eating the residual talent essence of the heterogeneous muskox, and purifying a talent serum. Ding! Congratulations to the host for eating the muskox sirloin, level 11, and gaining 750 evolution points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for eating the residual talent essence of the heterogeneous muskox, and purifying a talent serum. The light gray message reminder flashed in front of my eyes from time to time. The number of alien species killed this time is large, including the muskoxen and reindeer species. There are 15 alien species. Alien species are very rare in the outside world, even though it was Su Lin who unified the territory of the wolves. Coupled with the large-scale distribution of the flesh and blood of the different species, he managed to gather more than 10 different species. From this, it can be seen that this land of adventures is against the sky. In the future, the wolves will definitely develop very rapidly in this place of adventure. Moreover, with the lush aquatic plants in such a land of adventures, some prey on the territory can also be driven to let them multiply in this area, so that there is no need to worry that those herbivorous races will not be able to survive under the extreme night. At this time, Su Lin was devouring the essence of the hunted alien species, while thinking about the future development of the wolf pack. In the future, the wolves will become larger and larger, and the aliens under their command will become stronger and stronger, which will also provide greater help to Su Lin. Under the awe of this bloody massacre, among the other hunters in the land of adventures, it is estimated that no one will provoke the wolves without opening their eyes, so Surin planned that the wolves would rest in this place for a while. Since the formation of the wolves under his command, this is the first time that such a large-scale battle has been fought, and brilliant results have been achieved. After the wolves settle down, they will be rewarded for their merits, and a few second wolves will be promoted again. Among the wolves, there are still too few wolves who can command and take the lead in the charge. There are only broken ears, fan wolves, and little greys, etc., which are still far from enough. There are hundreds of wolves, and if there are only a few wolves, it is impossible to fully utilize the hunting tactics and echelon tactics of the wolves. But fortunately this time the wolves were strong enough, and the reindeer were slaughtered before they dared to resist. As for the muskox herd, their morale was crushed because of Surin's wolf howls, and the death of the alien muskox king, so they were defeated. If there is really an opponent with the same arrogance in the future, then there are still too few backbones leading the wolf clan to fight. Therefore, it is imperative to promote some of the backbone of the wolf pack, but this time all the members of the wolf pack performed pretty well. Even Little Grey, Wolf Sister, and Little Grey Wolf each killed 2 or 3 reindeer or muskox in this bloody fight. Having experienced bloody battles, they have also grown from being immature at the beginning to becoming qualified hunters, and the aura on the wolf's body has become more and more calm and restrained. After Su Lin finished eating the essence of the massacre, he was getting closer and closer to being promoted to level 16. At this moment, Su Lin came to the side of the different grass Cuscudo again, and was induced by mental fluctuations. He knew that different grass had chosen Little Lone Wolf. The Little Lone Wolf is an alien species before the world changed, and he has experienced repeated killings and bloody battles. He is the top of the wolf clan in terms of energy and spirit. Needless to say, his growth potential at the monstrous level is just because the Little Lone Wolf grew up from a cub, and it takes a lot of time to grow up. Set time to grow. In addition, he had only met Hygen Galen once, so his strength seemed a little weaker. Otherwise, if there is a supply of pure energy, its current strength may at least reach the level of the alien grizzly bear, or even the alien muskox king. As a wolf clan, there are almost no shortcomings to speak of. If they grow up to the same level, then not to mention killing the alien grizzly bear and the alien muskox king like a pig butcher, at least they won't be in a hard fight. In the same level, only cats can touch wolves. After all, every cat species is a natural hunter, and they are almost rare in the same level. It's just that Su Lin didn't agree with this choice of daughter. Little Lone Wolf is his most powerful assistant, and he doesn't want there to be an existence in Little Lone Wolf that can induce his consciousness. After Su Lin vetoed the first parasitic host, daughter also looked at Wenxiong. Wenxiong completed the mutation by devouring more than 20 catties of different species of flesh and blood, and his growth potential is also good. Otherwise, If you have the same potential as your cousin, then forcibly pile up a grizzly bear into a different species, then what you need is not 20 caddies of different species of flesh and blood. So Wenxiong's potential is not bad. As for why it didn't evolve into a different species in the first place, after the great change of the world, presumably because of its personality, it usually just swallows some roots and moss in its own territory to make ends meet. This leads to insufficient energy intake, which suppresses its evolution and growth. Facing the choice of daughter, Su Lin was silent for a moment, and then agreed, because parasitic plants are also considered an adventure for ordinary heterogeneous species. Both sides can reach the point of rapid growth. After Su Lin agreed, he let out a low howl to signal Wenxiong to come forward. During this period of getting along with the wolves, Wenxiong, who is a different species, naturally understood the meaning of howling wolves more or less, quietly walked forward, waiting for the Wolf King's arrangement. After waiting for a while, it was the process of the cuscuta weed starting to parasitize the body of the warm bear. Under the watchful eyes of Su Lin, the parasitic process of cuscuta is as gentle as possible, but flesh and blood are compatible, and the pain brought by it still made Wenxiong, who was originally a full 3 meters tall, so painful that he collapsed on the ground in an instant. Roar. Severe pain came from the spine of its back. It roared desperately at the beginning, trying to vent its pain by roaring, but it couldn't growl soon. Because of the great pain caused by the compatibility of flesh and blood, it even became a luxury to roar, and in the end it was just the huge bare body lying on the ground trembling. Fortunately, the rich emerald green fluorescence spread all over Wenxiong's body. This emerald green fluorescence is maintaining its life, and it is also helping it suppress the pain. This emerald green fluorescence is obviously the essence of plants and trees on different grass, and the power of this essence is also helping the main body of different grass to slowly fuse into the back of the warm bear, and then attach to the spine. In the midst of parasitism, there was faint blood overflowing from Wenxiong's back. Although Wenxiong could no longer roar, the trembling of the bear's body became more and more intense. It can be seen that no matter how gentle the means are, it cannot suppress the extreme pain. After all, the spine is the most important bone for the bears and wolves, and the pain of being fused into a living plant can be imagined. But this is also the only way. Su Lin's eyes did not fluctuate at all. In this world, if one wants to gain great power and extraordinary future, one has to suffer unbearable pain from some ordinary species. If Wenxiong can't bear it, it can only mean that it doesn't have this blessing. This is not that Su Lin is cold-blooded, but a bloody fact in nature. In the cruel world of ice and snow, in many cases, all species have tried their best to survive. What's more, it is impossible to live better and gain more power without paying some price. With the light shock of emerald green fluorescence, more blood spilled from the back of the alien grizzly bear, and the pain further intensified. Not only the blood on the back, even with the suppression of emerald green fluorescence, the xenogenic grizzly bear's eyes widened in pain, covered with bloodshot eyes, and the nose and mouth were panting heavily. But this pain can only be resisted by Wenxiong himself. Su Lin just stared at it for a moment, then withdrew his gaze. Next, Su Lin howled lowly to signal to Little Lone Wolf and Little Hui, and went out to look for ice caves, and caves where wolves could stay for a long time. In this cold Arctic ice sheet, the cold wind will whiz through from time to time. Su Lin and the other alien species are naturally not afraid, but the common species of wolves still can't bear such a cold. There are ice caves and caves to shelter from the wind, and it will be much easier. Little Lone Wolf and Little Hui are Su Lin's closest confidants. After hearing the order from their boss, they both howled and accepted the order, and Su Lin started to lead the pack of wolves to carry the carcasses of many reindeer outside this land of adventures. More than 200 reindeer carcasses were checked back and forth with the muskox carcasses for at least several hours after the wolves checked them back and forth. Hundreds of the corpses of small herbivorous species piled up like a mountain. The wolves looked at the piled up corpses with excitement in their eyes, because in their eyes, this pile of corpses means abundant food, and it also means that their survival pressure for a long time in the future will be much less. During these few hours, Little Lone Wolf and Little Hui came back one after another. They found an ice cave and a cave respectively. The location of the ice cave is small, where the alien grizzly lives alone, on top of a steep iceberg. The icy road up this ice cave is very steep, with little friction. Even Xiao Hui had to try several times before climbing up the ice cave. It is much steeper than the caves in the southern wolves' territory of Surin. The ice cave Surin also went to have a look, and found that the area of the ice cave was about 5,000 or 6,000 square meters. With the increasing size of the wolves at present, about 50 or 60 wolves can be stationed in the ice cave, so Surin didn't intend to use this ice cave as the main camp of the wolves, but just planned to use this ice cave as a food storage point for the wolves. At that time, more than 20 elite wolves can be stationed here. When Su Lin was walking, his extremely sensitive sense of smell naturally also smelled the inventory of the different species of grizzly bears in the ice cave, which were 7 or 8 fruits exuding the smell of aquatic plants. In this fruit, Su Lin could feel the pure and surging energy value. It can be seen that this should be the energy fruit born in this land of adventure. With such an energy fruit, it's no wonder that the alien powers in this land of adventures don't advance by leaps and bounds. Su Lin took these energy fruits, and then signaled to the wolves to drag some muskox and reindeer corpses into the ice cave. The food in this ice cave will serve as the real food reserve for the wolves in the future. As for the other cave, it is very spacious. It's just that the smell of muskox in the cave is too strong. After Surin came in, he saw more than a dozen panicked muskox cubs. Seeing the sudden pack of wolves, these muskox cubs backed away in terror, howling immaturely. Surin just glanced at it, but didn't signal the wolves to rush up and kill these muskox cubs. After all, the wolves did not really intend to kill the muskoxen. Those muskox who dared to show their sharp horns to the wolves and resisted the wolves would naturally be killed. And these muskox cubs can be used as future food. Wolves still need to develop and survive after all. In the future, the size of the wolf pack may further expand under the multiplication and reproduction, and more food will be needed, so it is not too late to kill these muskox cubs after they grow up. Under Su Lin's signal, the wolves just drove a dozen muskox cubs out of the cave. Next, the wolves occupied the magpie's nest, and officially occupied the cave of the alien muskox king and his muskox herd. This cave is 70 to 80 meters high, and the interior is extremely spacious, not to mention hundreds of wolves living here. Even if the number of wolves is multiplied several times, it is more than enough to occupy this cave. In the cave, Su Lin naturally found more than a dozen fruits containing pure energy. In addition, there are many accumulations of aquatic plants in this cave. It can be seen that the IQ of the alien muskox king is indeed not low, and he has already asked the muskox herd to hoard some food for emergencies. Su Lin didn't clean up these aquatic plants either. After all, although the wolves are carnivores, the bears are omnivores. If there is a day when food is extremely expensive and scarce, then these aquatic plants are likely to be the life-saving straw for the bears under Su Lin's command. Think about defeat before winning. After the great changes in the world, we need to be more prepared. After all, no one knows how the situation in this world will change in the future. If one day it becomes difficult for the wolves under his command to obtain food, then the world should be extremely chaotic. At this time, after Su Lin walked out of the cave, he stood on a high snow slope and directed the wolves to transport the remaining carcass of muskox and reindeer to the cave. Then, looking towards the extreme center of the North Pole, a pair of golden brown eyes narrowed, and a cold gleam flashed by. The revival of the gods and demons. If the last segment recorded on the crystal coffin really comes true, then the world might really be in an unimaginable chaos. It took another 7 or 8 hours for the wolves to completely drag the food into the ice caves and caves. It can be said that the wolves have not rested for more than a day since they attacked the land of adventure and slaughtered the deer. It's just that under the dark polar night, there is no sense of time, and the wolves have strong stamina. Although they are physically exhausted, they are all gnashing their teeth to hold on. After all, this battle was very fruitful, and the entire wolf pack was overwhelmed with surprise. This surprise in the gaze of the Wolf King are the biggest source of motivation for them. After carrying all the food, Su Lin also took a look at these alien corpses. Among them, the largest is the muskox king, with a body size of 12 to 3 meters, and at least 15 or 6 tons of foreign flesh and blood. The rest are the alien grizzly bear and the alien reindeer king. These two alien species also have a body size of 10 meters and weigh about 10 tons. The remaining alien species, common alien reindeer, alien muskoxen, and alien snow owls, that were killed along the way also add up to, with 30 tons. Calculated in this way, the wolves not only gained a lot from ordinary food this time, but also gained a lot from the exotic flesh and blood as hard currency. More than 60 tons of different kinds of flesh and blood, which is enough to make the strength of the wolves grow by leaps and bounds again. After cleaning up the battlefield and dragging the food back, many wolves and bears also gathered together, raised their wolf heads, and looked up at Surin on the snowy slope. Their eyes are full of fanaticism and respect. And after the wolves were busy, Su Lin didn't let them wait, and began to signal the little lone wolf, Little Gray and Cousin to start distributing food. And this time the distribution was all different species of flesh and blood. Even the hard-working female polar bear was distributed a lot. Su Lin will never treat any member who fights for the wolves badly. No matter what time of day, food is the top priority of the wolf pack. With the food, many wolves who were already very tired also all thanked and howled excitedly. The long howling of the hundreds of wolves resounded ups and downs under the cold polar night. Many wolves have never been afraid of the prying eyes of hunters, attracted by the howling of wolves, because today they have used the blood and carcasses of deer and musk oxen to let all the alien species in this land of adventures witness the fighting power of the wolves, and with the leadership of the Wolf King, they are not afraid of any species. The harvest obtained this time is unprecedented, and the amount of alien flesh and blood that Su Lin distributed to the wolves is far more than before. Ordinary female wolves are allocated 20 caddies of different species of flesh and blood each. Common male wolves are allocated 30 caddies of foreign species of flesh and blood each. Elite wolf tribes get 50 caddies of alien species of flesh and blood, and bear tribes also get 50 caddies of foreign species of flesh and blood, no matter how delicious it is, or the pure energy it contains. The alien flesh is extremely popular among wolves. With so many different kinds of flesh and blood distributed, the wolves howled with excitement. Naturally, the little lone wolf won the first prize this time. He explored the land of adventure, led a pack of wolves to kill, and killed many different species of reindeer and muskoxen. This kind of victory is second only to Su Lin. Su Lin allocated 3 energy fruits to the little lone wolf. These fruits can make the strength of the little lone wolf get a big boost again. As for little Hui, cousin sister, wolf sister, and Hubai little wolf, these are just rewards of hundreds of caddies of different species of flesh and blood. The last one is Wenxiong. Now Wenxiong has officially merged with daughter different grass, but fell into a coma. The pain of flesh and blood needs to be recovered slowly with time, but Wenxiong's aura has gradually stabilized, and it is expected that once he wakes up, there will be some rapid progress in the future. After rewarding the food for his merits, Su Lin looked at the cheering wolves under his command, and there was some satisfaction in his golden brown eyes. The wolves are currently stationed in the cave. After the wolves ate, Su Lin took the little lone wolf, little gray, cousin and other alien species to mark the territory of the wolves in the place of adventure. This land of adventures is huge, covering 20,000 to 30,000 square kilometers, which is twice the size of the southern territory of Ceylon. Now Surin occupies half of it, which is equivalent to occupying more than 10,000 square kilometers. This is not a small territory. In the future, with the abundant aquatic plants in this territory, more large herbivorous populations can be raised in captivity. It can be said that the food problem of the wolves under the extreme night has been solved very well. When Su Lin marked the territory with a group of different species, it naturally caused some uneasiness and shock in the land of adventures. After all, everyone is afraid of another bloody fight and conquest by the wolves. Under the coercion of such a mighty pack of wolves, no hunter would not be frightened. Even several Arctic silver foxes released an Arctic silver fox to guard their territory. You must know that the strong Arctic silver fox in the past would never do such a move. Su Lin glanced at the Arctic silver fox from a distance of hundreds of meters, and the attribute value of the Arctic silver fox appeared in front of him as soon as he thought about it. Species: Arctic silver fox. Exotic. Level 23. Vitality: 2153. Stamina: 319. Strength: 308. Defense: 279. Speed: 403. Talent: Control. Grade B. Poison Mist Soul Devourer. Grade B. Su Lin confronted the Arctic silver fox for a while hundreds of meters away. He found that this Arctic silver fox was not that strong in terms of numerical value alone. Among the more than 20 different species, it can only be said to be mediocre. Even except for speed, the rest of the attributes are considered to be low to medium. However, the talent of the Arctic silver fox caught Su Lin's attention. Control. Poisonous Mist Devours Soul. Looking at these two talents, Su Lin narrowed his golden brown eyes slightly. These two talents should not be conventional talents, a bit like the poisonous talents of the polar ice worm king that was beheaded, and the Arctic silver fox's ability to rely on ordinary strength to occupy the most central position is probably inseparable from this talent. Su Lin and the Arctic silver fox confronted each other for a while, then turned their eyes away and led the wolves away. Now that the wolves have just gone through a series of battles, this is not the right time to have a conflict with the Arctic silver fox, and knowing yourself and the enemy, you will be victorious in every battle. This time, Su Lin ordered the little lone wolf to explore for several days before attacking the land of adventure. Therefore, regarding these Arctic silver foxes, one must find out the details as much as possible. Now, there is no need for Su Lin to confront these Arctic silver foxes in such a hurry. At present, the wolves have a territory of tens of thousands of square kilometers in the land of adventures, and it took 2 or 3 hours to patrol these territories. During this period, Su Lin also discovered that there were some hidden species in this large territory. Among them were 7 or 8 female polar bears and grizzly bears, which were found on the territory of the different species of grizzly bears. It can be seen that even if this alien species of grizzly goes to the land of adventure, it will lead a comfortable and happy life. He even took over 7 or 8 female bears in one go. But for these 7 or 8 female bears, Su Lin saw that there was no alien species, so he ordered Xiaobai to bring them under the command of the wolves. Females are the main force for reproduction, and they can be better strengthened if they are taken under their command. In addition to these bears, some hiding musk oxen, reindeer, flying birds, and some solitary lynxes and lone wolves were also found. Facing these species, Su Lin could recruit all those who surrendered into the wolves. Only the reindeer family, no matter the old, weak, sick or disabled, will not stay, because the herd of deer once caused great trauma to the wolves. If it is said that the genocide was killed, it would be the genocide of the wolves. Deal with these things. After the recovery, the size of the wolf pack can be considered to have grown a lot again. After recuperating for a period of time in the future, the strength of the wolves will increase rapidly. After returning to the cave, Su Lin saw that most of the wolves and bears found an inconspicuous corner in the cave, and began to eat the freshly allocated alien flesh. The deliciousness of the alien flesh made every wolf and bear saliva secrete crazily, and they all swallowed the alien flesh with their saliva. These flesh and blood are rich in pure energy and nutrition, enough for the wolves to eat for a while. After Su Lin came back, under the guard of his cousin, wolf sister, Little Gray and Little Lone Wolf, he chose the most comfortable place in the cave and began to rest. After seeing the Wolf King start to rest, the wolves in the cave did not howl loudly, but were just eating silently. After eating, they all lay down in their respective positions, and began to sleep soundly, using sound sleep to relieve the fatigue of the bloody day. At this time, the area was completely silent, only the slight breathing of the wolves in the cave, and the rustling of the cold wind blowing through the ice outside. In this silence, time passed quietly. Polar night and polar day are the characteristics of the Arctic. Whether it is under polar night or polar day, the concept of time will become very weak, especially in this cold and icy world. All species are too lazy to get out of their nests, and they have no concept of time. With enough food, even the wolves are not motivated to go hunting. Only the little lone wolf would take a group of wolves out to guard and inspect the territory during this period of time to see if there were any other hunters invading. In such a leisurely day, it was more than half a month in a flash. During this half month, most of the members of the wolf pack digested the allocated flesh and blood. The amount of alien flesh and blood distributed this time caused several alien species to emerge again after the wolves digested them. Among them, the female wolf under the command of the cousin has added a new alien species. The male wolf under the command of the little lone wolf has also added a new alien species, and the elite wolf clan led by Xiaohui has also added 2 new species. As for the bear clan, no new alien species appeared this time. The pure energy required by the bear family to evolve into a different species, and the wolf family's desire to evolve into a different species is not the same. Surin didn't code name the 4 newly added alien species, and the 2 alien species last time, but only code named the 2 alien species with higher potential among them. One of them was the female polar bear, codenamed White Bear. This female polar bear also killed 2 different species of musk oxen and reindeer during the wolf expedition, which is considered to be the most exploited besides the little lone wolf. The other end is a female wolf, under the command of my cousin, code-named Jackal, because the face of this female wolf is narrower and longer than that of other wolves, and her ears are more pointed, so Su Lin gave it such a code name. The potential of the jackal is also very good. Since it evolved into a heterogeneous species, it has reached the 7th level peak in a short period of time. By eating the flesh and blood of the heterogeneous species, this kind of growth potential is much better than that of my cousin. As for the newly promoted 4 alien species, their growth potential is not very good, and Su Lin did not give them a code name. Su Lin took advantage of the situation and promoted Jackal to become Yilang as the cousin's deputy. Bai Xiong was promoted to Xiaobei's deputy, coordinating with Xiaobai to lead the bear clan. As for the rest, Su Lin also promoted the wolf sister and the little gray wolf to be the second wolf. The credits of the 2 of them may not be enough, but they have already been promoted to level 8 aliens. Their combat power is enough, and they have followed Su Lin for many years, and the credits can be accumulated slowly in the future. After they were promoted to become wolves, not counting wolf fathers and mothers, there was 1 head wolf in the wolf pack, and wolves had reached 7. Even in order to increase the wolves' desire for the status of the second wolf and the alpha wolf, Su Lin continued to issue several rules among the wolves. That's the rule about mating rights. Su Lin didn't pay much attention to the female wolves in the wolf pack, and naturally he didn't pay much attention to the so-called mating rights. And in a large wolf pack, apart from the wolf king, the alpha wolf also has the right to mate, but this time Su Lin intends to drop the mating rights to the second wolf. As long as it is the second wolf in the wolf pack, it can choose one of the wolves of the opposite sex as a spouse. The second wolf has special merits and can be rewarded with an additional mate. A wolf head can have 3 mates of the opposite sex. As for Su Lin, as the wolf king, he has the power to kill all members of the wolf pack, let alone the right to mate. Just after Su Lin made this rule, all the wolves in the wolf pack were almost boiling, and the eyes of the wolves seemed to have the color of light in an instant, because for wolves living in the ice and snow, the most important thing is the food they depend on for survival. Apart from food, it is the right to mate, and the status gap between Yilang and Heilang is only 1 grade. Therefore, a raging fire was ignited in the bottom of each wolf's heart, and they all strive to climb to the throne of the second wolf in the future. After the mating rights were delegated, Connor, Fanlang, Jackal, etc. were all looking for their spouses. As for Xiao Hui, since she has been with her boss for a long time, her vision is above the top, and she doesn't like ordinary females at all. As for the little lone wolf, he doesn't have such thoughts at the moment. He is always on the front line of the pack of wolves every day. After being rewarded with 3 energy fruits by Su Lin, little lone wolf's strength has also reached the peak of level 15 by leaps and bounds within half a month, and he is only 1 step away from being promoted to level 16. With his ferocious fighting power, the little lone wolf is able to fight against alien species that are 1 or 2 levels higher than him. Even a level 20 alien can still compete with the dire wolf talent. It can be said that the current little lone wolf has the strength to stand alone even in the land of adventures. But this time the strength has improved the most, not the little lone wolf. It's Wen Xiong. After merging with the different grass daughter, Wang Song was in a coma for several days, and after waking up, he was hungry for food to the extreme. With Su Lin's acquiescence, Wen Xiong swallowed a full 700 to 800 catties of foreign flesh and blood during this period. With the intake of foreign flesh and blood, Wen Xiong's strength also improved by leaps and bounds, from level 13 to the peak of level 15 in one go. This kind of strength improvement is even faster than that of the little lone wolf. Naturally, there is also a reason for the fusion with Cuscuta different grass. The main body level of daughter is higher, and it also contains pure and surging energy, which will naturally accelerate the growth of Wen Xiong. At present, although Wen Xiong has reached the peak of level 15, he will not be the opponent of little lone wolf without using the different grass Cuscuta. After all, speed is a natural shortcoming of the bear clan. Now, in addition to the substantial improvement in the strength of several alien species, the overall strength of the wolf pack has also ushered in another peak. Ordinary female wolves have generally been promoted to level 6 after devouring the flesh and blood of the foreign species. As for ordinary male wolves, they have all been promoted to the peak of level 6, and a few have reached level 7. The elite wolf clan led by Xiaohui has all been promoted to level 7, and even a few have reached the peak of level 7. If you want to take some alien flesh and blood, these wolves can also be piled up into alien species. As for the more than 30 bears under the wolves' command, the strength of the polar bears generally reached level 16 or 17. A polar bear of this strength, even if it is an ordinary species, can go to the sea to hunt white whales, and if it really fights for its life, it also has a lot of power. The strength of ordinary grizzlies has reached level 13 and 14, which is not a bit stronger than the grizzlies outside the wolf pack. More than 30 bear clans of such strength, gathered together, are also an extremely powerful force. It can be said that the current wolves, even if Su Lin doesn't make a move, can hunt and kill a few 20-level alien species. After Su Lin brought 4 young wolves including Xiaohui, cousin, wolf sister, and Grey Wolf to start a wolf pack on his own, in just over a year, the wolf pack under his command has grown to such an extent. This made Su Lin's golden brown eyes not only gratified, but also blazing with ambition. Dominate the North Pole. In the future, what the wolves want is not only a land of adventure, but also not to stick to the existing territory. What Su Lin really wants is to unify the North Pole, and become the well-deserved king of the North Pole. At this moment, Su Lin stood on the snow slope, and there was an earth-shattering howl of wolves, and he inspected the wolves under his command. The wolves also cooperated with the Wolf King, and began to howl like a tsunami. More than 30 bears stood in front of them and looked at the Wolf King with burning eyes. After reviewing for a few minutes, Seeing that the morale and mental state of the wolves had reached their peak again during this period of rest, Su Lin nodded in satisfaction, then let the little lone wolf lead a group of wolves to investigate all the remaining forces in the land of adventures. Yes, Su Lin never thought of peacefully coexisting with the various forces in the land of adventures. Since we want to unify the North Pole, we must first unify the land of adventures. In addition, he has a human mind, and he understands the truth better than aliens. That is the side of the couch. How can you allow others to sleep peacefully? In the future, Su Lin plans to keep only a part of the members stationed here. If these aliens attack the wolf pack after he leaves, it will definitely cause a lot of casualties. Why not take advantage of the high morale of the wolves and formally unify this land of adventures? All possible threats to the wolves will naturally be eliminated. At this time, Su Lin's golden brown eyes flashed a fierce light. Perhaps these alien species have not shot at the wolves now, but in the cruel nature, it has never been a place to be reasonable and right or wrong. What we are talking about here is only the strong and the weak, and the strong prey on the weak has never been an empty talk. After the little lone wolf took the order, and took a few wolves to further explore the details of the hunters in the land of adventures, standing on the snowy slope, Su Lin took a focused look at the area where several Arctic silver foxes were located, and then looked away. Next, he returned to the cave again. It will take at least a few days for the little lone wolf to find out the details of the other alien species in this land of adventures, so there are still a few days of rest. Surin has also devoured several energy fruits from the land of adventures these days, gaining a lot of evolutionary value. With the addition of the evolution potion, the energy fruit was swallowed for the first time, and gained 7,500 evolution points, which is lower than the branches of Cuscudo Adulis. However, it was expected that if the evolutionary value of 7,500 points can flow steadily in the future, it will also be a very considerable evolutionary value. Even as a reward in the future, it would be great to improve the strength of the alien species under his command. After returning to the cave, Su Lin jumped and took out a branch of Cuscudo weed from a recessed position on the top. Su Lin devoured 2 of the branches of Cuscudo officinalis during this period, and obtained tens of thousands of evolutionary points. Now he is only less than 20,000 evolutionary points away from being promoted again. It is enough to devour this daughter branch today. Now every time he goes up a level, the strength improvement he gets is extremely huge. Su Lin first used an evolution potion, waited for the cold energy to flow through his body, and then began to eat the Cuscudo weed. The taste of Cuscudo is not delicious. It is a bit bitter, and it is the most unpalatable among the exotic flowers and herbs Su Lin has eaten, but the evolution value obtained is quite a lot. Even though it has been devoured several times, it still has a lot of evolutionary value. After swallowing Cuscudo different grass into his stomach, a light gray message prompting him to gain evolutionary value appeared in front of his eyes. Ding! Congratulations to the host for swallowing Cuscudo and gaining 5,500 evolutionary points. After swallowing it several times, it was reduced to 5,500 points, which shows the huge and pure energy it contains. Su Lin only needs to swallow 3 or 4 more times to advance. Under the huge temptation of strength improvement, Su Lin resisted the bitter taste in his mouth and continued to swallow. Ding! Congratulations to the host for swallowing Cuscudo and gaining 5,000 evolution points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for swallowing Cuscudo and gaining 4,500 evolution points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for swallowing Cuscudo and gaining 4,000 evolution points. After devouring a Cuscudo branch, Su Lin also felt the mysterious evolution coming again. He greedily absorbed this mysterious energy. Since the promotion of the genetic level, this mysterious energy has also increased, and the duration has also become longer and longer. Mysterious energy roamed around Su Lin's limbs, subtly strengthening every organ and cell of Su Lin's wolf body. Su Lin's already very domineering aura became stronger again. The huge wolf's body was surging with blood, and the blood was boiling like a burning furnace. The divine light in the golden brown wolf's eyes was brilliant, which was extraordinarily bright in the cave. This mysterious energy lasted for more than 2 hours before it was completely absorbed. After being promoted for such a long time, Su Lin's strength has also been greatly improved this time. In this evolution, Su Lin's body size has reached nearly 8 meters without the wolf tail, and 11 meters with the thick wolf tail. 11 meters, even if such a body shape is the resurrection of Tyrannosaurus rex, it is nothing more than that. After all, according to data records, Tyrannosaurus rex was only about 11 to 15 meters in size. Su Lin's shoulder height reached an astonishing 3 meters, including the wolf's head, it was more than 4 meters. It can be said that his body shape has become a monster from the perspective of human beings. A monster that can easily destroy several stories of buildings. Name, Surin. Species, Arctic wolf. Gene level, I. Level 16, upgrading requires 640,000 evolution points. Vitality, 6,200. Stamina, 560. Strength, 590. Defense, 570. Speed, 850. Additional attribute points, 70. Evolution value, 5,320. Talents, hunting, level C. Howling of wolves, level B. Concealment, level B. Healing, level A+. Every promotion nowadays, the strength improved is huge. From level 15 to level 16, Su Lin's attribute value increased by 70 points, and his blood value also increased by 700 points. This kind of strength improvement is much stronger than the alien species of the same level. Now Su Lin's blood value has reached 6,100 points. This made it possible for Su Lin to move around intentionally, so that the surging energy and blood would make the wolves around him feel a burst of warmth. This kind of blood value is more than 3 times higher than that of the same level of alien wolves. Next, Su Lin looked at the extra 70 attribute points, and added this attribute point to the speed again. Strengthen an attribute to the extreme, then it can become a real strength that can crush everything currently. So far, Surin has hardly encountered any alien species that can rival him in speed. Now continue to add 70 attribute points, making Su Lin's speed value soar to 920. 920 speed value. Even if Su Lin didn't activate the hunting talent at such a speed, he would have to break through to more than 400 meters per second. This is an astonishing speed. The distance of more than 400 meters is nearly 1 mile. It can be said that if Su Lin runs at full speed for 1 minute, he can run nearly 60 miles. 60 miles a minute. This speed is invincible. Not to mention normal species, even the alien species of level 20 or 30, as long as they are not proficient in speed, it is difficult to react. After turning on the hunting talent, Surin's speed is almost comparable to the top human fighters. The speed is close to Mach 3, and it is still in the Arctic ice sheet with complex terrain. With such a speed, Surin is almost equal to standing in an invincible position. In addition to speed, the defense of Surin's wolf body reached 570 points, which was higher than the defense of more than 20 levels of alien bears. This kind of defense combined with thick hair can block most attacks. Ordinary gun bullets cannot break through Surin's defense. As for some armor-piercing shells and large caliber shells, even if they could barely break through Surin's defense, it would be difficult to cause effective trauma. Su Lin's basic strength value has reached 590, and the strengthened right claw will soar to nearly 900. With a full blow, it has an attack power of more than 20 tons, approaching 30 tons. Such a huge force is condensed on the wolf claws, almost nothing can stop it. Now Su Lin's strength has reached an extreme level, and combined with his mysterious spiritual power, he can bring out his peak strength to the fullest. If it is really a bloody fight, Su Lin looks at the whole North Pole, except for several extraordinary forces of the mysterious iceberg. He has almost no opponents. Now Su Lin even feels that if he encounters those 2 huge iceberg lotuses again, he should have the capital that can barely compete. After all, exotic flowers and plants are different from different species. Although exotic flowers and plants can better absorb the energy between heaven and earth, they also have many restrictions. For example, the iceberg lotus cannot move by itself, which is its biggest weakness. At this time, Su Lin, who had been promoted, came to the edge of the cave, and looked at the endless water plants and ice outside. He couldn't help but let out a long cry, expressing the joy of his huge improvement in strength. The howling of wolves was like thunder, rolling, echoing in the dark night. That is, when Su Lin was promoted again, the new human team exploring the North Pole has entered the North Pole, from the northernmost border of Siberia. After entering, all kinds of communication equipment completely failed. At this time, the North Pole was shrouded in pitch darkness, which added some horror and depressing atmosphere to their journey of exploration. These specially made heavy tanks are all tailor-made for the tall bodies of new humans. The new human captain, Bob, is staring at the display screen inside the tank intently, for fear of missing any clues. There are dedicated high-definition night vision detectors and small detection radars around the tank, as well as several micro-drones. This can also better ensure the shooting effect. As the captain of the new human team, Bob is naturally the strongest among them, in terms of strength. He once went to a professional physical testing room to test his comprehensive physical fitness. His peak boxing strength can reach 2,300 pounds, which is an extremely astonishing figure, heavier than the boxing strength of previous world boxing champions. The speed has also reached 17 meters per second, and it can maintain the peak speed for about 1 minute. Cardiopulmonary ability, skin recovery ability, ability to withstand blows, reaction ability, etc., have all undergone earth-shaking changes. It can be said that his overall quality, in all aspects, has surpassed the previous best in the world, and he can easily kill dozens of ordinary humans with his bare hands. But after witnessing the terrifying strength of those truly mutated creatures, Bob deeply realized that he was still too weak. Only by relying on the pinnacle of technological killers can we compete with these mutated creatures. When they came to the cold North Pole, there was no signal, which meant that they lost a lot of real high-tech support. So Bob has to be more cautious this time than ever before when performing missions. He just sat in front of the monitor and stared at it motionless. This time Bob came out with 32 new humans, who had also unlocked the genetic shackles. But these people were weaker than Bob. The comprehensive strength in all aspects can reach the limit of ordinary human beings. At this time, in the heavy tank, a member of the new human team just woke up from the bed. He got up and grabbed a piece of bread casually, and while eating the bread, he said to Bob, "Captain, why don't I replace you for a while? You go to rest." This member is called Sander, the team's vice captain, and in existence second only to Bob in strength. Usually when Bob is away, he is the one calling the shots in the team. Sander is calm and seasoned, so Bob pondered for a moment, then nodded, and said, "Okay, I'm really sleepy, so I'll rest for a few hours, and let me know if there's anything." Sander nodded and said, "No problem, but is our exploration route correct this time, Captain? If we say that we explore this area, there should be many animals, but we have traveled all the way, but there is no sign of any species. I have never seen a shadow." Bob shook his head and said, "It's true that I haven't seen it, but under the extreme night, many animals may have migrated, or they may have been frozen to death in the terrible cold, so don't worry about it so much. Let's continue to explore." This time, according to the marked map, we searched here and there. If we still found nothing after the search, that would be considered a good thing for us. After all, being able to go back alive is equivalent to a huge victory for us. After wolfing down the bread in his hands, Sender said, "Yes, I hope we can go back alive, but we should soon reach the territory of the wolves mentioned by the researchers. Those Arctic wolves live in the cold Arctic all year round. It shouldn't be frozen to extinction too." After handing over to Sander, Bob just took off his shoes, lay on the bed without taking off his clothes, and said, "Well, wolves are very cunning and cruel, and they should not become extinct. This time, we mainly explore the territories marked by the wolves, see if there are any mutated wolves among the wolves." "Okay, Captain." Sanders sat in front of the monitor and agreed. Such a scene is being staged in several heavy tanks, taking turns squatting and resting. Such a boring life has already become the daily routine of the new human team. At this time, several heavy armored tanks of the new human team were in front, followed by a heavy armored battle group dozens of miles behind, and they all slowly drove into the North Pole. Species in the Arctic are very rare on weekdays, and they are even more rare under the polar night, so no animals were encountered along the way, and no one felt anything unusual. But what they don't know is that all the species that have not surrendered to the wolves in this area for hundreds of miles have been expelled and hunted. The remaining large herbivorous populations also became the rations of the wolves, and were driven to a huge cave to escape the cold polar night. That's why the area is dead silent. And the wolf father and wolf mother, who evolved into different species, after devouring several of Ceylon's black fruit rocks and high orchid fruits, their strength has also been greatly improved. Among them, the wolf mother's talent is the same as that of Xiao Hui, and she is also lurking. Lurking can restrain the breath, and can also evade the most sophisticated detection equipment of human beings. At this time, the wolf mother was opening her talent, a pair of pale blue wolf eyes behind a snowdrift, watching these copper-colored giant beasts slowly driving into the territory of the wolves. Even though the wolf mother has evolved into a different species, and her IQ has improved a lot, she still doesn't understand what these copper-colored monsters are. But in the cold world of ice and snow, the bigger the body, the stronger the strength. Therefore, in the wolf mother's wolf eyes, only a very serious look flashed across. A monster of this size is definitely not something she can handle. With serious eyes, she retreated silently, deciding that after returning, she had to let the wolf clan under her command go to the north to inform her cubs. The last time an invincible tiger appeared, this time there were several copper-colored giant beasts, which made the wolf mother feel that the wolf pack's territory, which had just been stabilized for a while, seemed to be unstable again. The wolf mother retreated quietly, and Bob and Sunder were still exploring the cold North Pole, with the hope of returning alive. As for Tiffany and Divina in another heavy tank, they also followed a new human, and looked at everything on the screen, and found that the North Pole was no longer the North Pole in their impression. That chilly cold current and the terrifying blizzard that lasted for a month changed the landscape of the North Pole. There are more icebergs and snow slopes, and all kinds of animals that I have seen before have disappeared. Tiffany and Divina looked at everything on the screen, and they no longer had the familiar feeling at the beginning. They don't know if they will see the animals they recorded, and they don't know what those animals have become in this year. If they really turned into those terrifying beasts in the news, would they really be able to walk out of this snow-capped North Pole alive? At this time, Surin, who was in the land of adventures, did not know that there was a new team of fully armed new humans who had already sailed into the North Pole. After he was promoted, he started to take out talent serum again, strengthening his own talent. The bonus of talent to strength can be called against the sky, and talented aliens can be said to be two species at all. Therefore, it is very necessary to upgrade and strengthen talents. With a thought, Su Lin took out the talent serum harvested from the last battle. There were 15 aliens that were killed last time, and 7 of them had talents above level 10, so Su Lin harvested a full 7 talent serums. He planned to leave a talent serum back for the Wolf Father or Wolf Mother to use. Wolf Father and Mother Wolf will stay in the southern wolf pack territory in the future. Su Lin naturally hopes that they will be as strong as possible. Otherwise, it would be too small to keep the territory of the wolves. And Surin was even more afraid that the Wolf Father and Mother would be hurt by some invading alien species. Although almost all the alien species in the territory of the southern wolves were wiped out by the wolves after the great changes in the world, it is inevitable that alien species from other places will flow to the North Pole. It is always good to give Wolf Father and Wolf Mother more strength. In this way of thinking, Su Lin began to strengthen his talent. Ding! Is the talent serum used? Use? Su Lin didn't hesitate at all. Talent serum is different from strengthening serum. There is no slight discomfort after using it. On the contrary, it is the warm current that makes people very comfortable, and this warm current surges through his entire pack of wolves. Limbs and bones and tendons. This talent serum was absorbed very quickly, and a light gray message appeared in front of him. Ding! The hunting talent has been strengthened successfully, and it has been promoted to a B-level talent. Hunting. Seeing this message prompt, Su Lin's eyes lit up. There is no doubt that hunting talent will increase combat power, even if it is a C-level hunt. It is far stronger than the other B-level talents of other alien species. Talents such as blood rage and passion are simply not comparable to hunting talents. Even the sky-defying talents like dire wolf can barely compete with hunting talents until the late stage of the battle. Seeing that hunting has been promoted to B-level talent now, Su Lin is naturally very excited. The promotion of hunting talent also means that Surin's combat power will be greatly improved again. Immediately following the introduction of the enhanced C-level hunting talent, it appeared in front of him. Hunting, B-level, upgradable. Active talent. After opening, it can increase its movement speed by 200%, increase its attack power by 200%, and increase the breath concealment coefficient. Duration, 240 seconds. Cooldown, 24 hours. The introduction of B-level hunting talents is still very simple and straightforward, but after seeing the detailed introduction clearly, Su Lin's breathing became a little short of breath. Enhance the speed and attack power by 200%. What does this demo mean? This kind of strength bonus far exceeds the B-level talents of other alien species, and even Su Lin feels that even the other A-level talents are not as powerful as B-level hunting in terms of strength increase. The 200% increase in speed and attack power means that after Su Lin activates the hunting talent, he will truly reach the invincible level of a god who blocks and kills gods, and Buddhas block and kill Buddhas. Su Lin's current speed is 920. After opening the hunting talent, it will reach an astonishing speed value of more than 1,800. It is equivalent to a speed of thousands of meters per second. It means that it only takes a few seconds to fly from one side of a village to the other. At this speed, not to mention humans, even alien species with extremely sensitive senses, don't even have time to react. It is a luxury for them to even see Su Lin's figure clearly. As for the attack power, Su Lin's peak attack after opening the hunting talent will also approach the attack power of 10 tons. Such a surge in strength made Su Lin feel that he would not be at a disadvantage in a head-to-head battle with that huge iceberg lotus after he activated his hunting talent. The most important thing is that the time for hunting talents has also doubled, from 120 seconds to 240 seconds, which is 4 minutes. 4 minutes of power surge time, placed on the hunting field, is enough to set off a bloody killing feast. The improvement of hunting talent this time can be said to give Su Lin an absolutely powerful trump card. After relieving the surprise in his heart for a moment, Su Lin continued to take out a talent serum to use. At present, he has a lot of talent serums, and now the B-level hunting talent is so powerful. If it is strengthened again, it is hard for Surin to imagine how strong it will be. Ding! Is the talent serum used? Su Lin used another talent serum, and the comfortable warmth flooded the wolf's body again. Soon the warm current was absorbed, and a light gray message appeared in front of his eyes again. A level healing talent enhancement progress is 2/5. After the progress value is completed, it will be promoted to S-level healing talent 2 out of 5. The heaven-defying nature of the healing talent has been fully demonstrated in many battles, so Su Lin has no regrets. Healing talents and hunting talents are the strongest reliance he can use to traverse the Arctic ice sheet. He also wanted to see how earth-shaking changes would take place after the healing talent was promoted to S-level. At this time, Su Lin continued to use the talent serum without hesitation, and time passed quietly as the talent was strengthened again and again. And in the cave, many wolf clans cuddled together to rest in 2s and 3s, and the elite wolf clan under Xiaohua's command guarded the wolf king. As for the wolf sister, she was also following her cousin, and was inspecting the female wolves under her command. The atmosphere of the whole wolf pack seemed peaceful. Time passed quickly, and several hours passed in a blink of an eye. The alien flesh and blood distributed by many wolves had already been eaten up, but the wolves basically ate once every half a month. Even for the wolves under Su Lin's command, apart from the rewards after hunting, ordinary high wolves eat once every 10 days. Now the wolves devoured the flesh and blood of the different species last time, which is rich in pure energy and nutrition, enough to support most of them without feeling hungry for more than a month. Just because you don't feel hungry doesn't mean you don't have the desire to eat. Now in the pack of wolves, Remnant, Jackal, Fan Lang and Xiaobai, etc., because of their higher status in the pack, naturally more flesh and blood of different species were distributed last time. More than 100 caddies of different species of flesh and blood were allocated to each head, and they hadn't finished eating during this period of time, so they took it out to eat again at this moment. This made many wolves and bears swallow their saliva crazily when they smelled the tempting smell of blood from the alien flesh. Only the ranks of the wolves are strictly hierarchical, and many wolf clans are watching eagerly. No wolf clan has ever dared to go forward to snatch or provoke. Brokener, Jackal, Fan Lang, Xiaobai, etc., have all improved their strength significantly by eating a lot of flesh and blood of different species. These days, Xiaobai has been promoted to the peak of level 7, and his huge blood value is about to break through 2000. As a different species of polar bear, Xiaobai's vitality is its strongest attribute. The blood value of nearly 2000 means that Xiaobai, who is only about half a year old, has a vigorous blood and vitality that is no less than that of an ordinary adult grizzly bear. As for Fan Lang and Kanur, they also reached the peak level 7 in these days. Fan wolves, disabled ears, jackals, Xiaobai, wolf sisters, gray and white little wolves, etc., are almost all at the peak of level 7 or level 8, and their combat power is about the same. In addition to Little Lone Wolf, Little Gray and Cousin, they are also the ones that Su Lin will focus on training in the next step. A pack of wolves cannot have only the Little Lone Wolf, who can stand alone. In the future, as the size of the wolf pack becomes larger and stronger, more than one wolf will naturally be needed. Among them, the ones that Su Lin valued the most were the wolf sister and the little gray wolf, especially the wolf girl. The family affection between blood makes him always take care of the wolf girl more habitually. So Su Lin was going to distribute a branch of Cuscuta weed to wolf sister, gray wolf, cousin and Xiao Hui to eat. The pure energy contained in a branch of Cuscuta is enough for the four of them to make another rapid progress. At this time, several members of the second wolf status in the cave, after eating the flesh and blood of the different species, they all lay back to their respective positions to rest. Only Fan Lang took a few wolves and went out for inspection. At this time, Su Lin also used up 6 gift serums in one go. The 6 talent serums almost completely strengthen his talent. The hunting talent has been promoted to B level, the wolf howling talent has been promoted to A level, and the healing talent has also been officially promoted to S level. With a thought in his mind, Su Lin activated the 2 talents of Howling Wolf and Healing again. Wolf Roar, a level, upgradable, active talent. It can launch a wolf howling sound wave attack. The attack speed is 5 times the speed of sound. The killing range is 20 kilometers, and the killing power is half of the peak attack power of the host. Number of attacks, 10 times. Cooldown, 24 hours. Note, after more than 10 times, it will enter the cooling time. During this time, if you use the talent of Howling Wolf forcibly, a large amount of vitality will be deducted. After the wolf howl talent is promoted to level A, the attack speed and killing range have been significantly improved, and even the power has been increased to half of the peak attack power. The improvement of wolf howling talent is not too strong, but it is better than nothing. The A-level wolf roar is also an excellent method for clearing the field and killing alien birds in the air. With a killing range of 20 kilometers and a speed 5 times the speed of sound, even the fastest alien birds cannot escape. Now, half of Su Lin's peak attack power is also very powerful. With a howl, it is enough to pass through the clouds and collapse into the sky. But the last healing talent was what surprised Su Lin the most this time. Healing, S level, already top level, passive talent. The speed of wound healing increased by 3,000 times, immunity to toxins, immunity to fungal infection, and it was equally effective against mental and radiation trauma. Note, it can consume stamina to speed up recovery several times, and can repair irreversible injuries. Duration, permanent, cooldown, none S-class. This is Su Lin's first S-level talent, and his healing talent can be considered to have reached the top level. In every bloody battle in the past, the healing talent contributed the most. If he didn't have the healing talent, he would think that Surin would weigh the pros and cons like other hunters. After all, once you are seriously injured in the icy and snowy field of Senhin, it will be very fatal. And now the healing talent has been officially promoted to S level, and the recovery speed of injuries has increased to 3,000 times. What is the concept of 3,000 times? Injuries such as fractures usually take dozens of days to recover, but with the addition of the S level healing talent, it only takes 20 to 30 minutes to fully recover. Even consuming physical strength can increase the recovery speed several times. This recovery speed means that almost most of the injuries can be healed in battle. The recovery speed visible to the naked eye has been reached. The most important thing is that a column in the remarks can repair irreversible injuries. What is an irreversible injury? An injury that cannot be recovered by normal recovery is called an irreversible injury. For example, broken limbs, broken organs, etc. These are irreversible injuries. Now the healing talent can restore such injuries, which makes Surin almost equal to having an immortal body to a certain extent. No matter how many injuries Su Lin received in the battle, as long as he survived, he could recover at an extremely fast speed. At this time, Su Lin let out a long breath, and his eyes moved away from the introduction of Heaven Defying's healing talent. He used 6 talent serums, which greatly improved his various talents. The improvement of these talents also made Su Lin's combat power rise to a new peak again. At present, Su Lin's combat power can be regarded as a super-level evildoer under the current great changes in the world, but he still didn't despise all the aliens, because alien species are the trendsetters of the era after the great change of the world. Su Lin believes that there will definitely be some alien species of the same superclass level among them, and if they really meet in the future, Su Lin is also very happy to touch these superclass aliens. Only the genetic flesh that devours all things can become stronger step by step. He is destined to step on the blood of thousands of different species to reach the top of the food chain. At this time, Su Lin, who was at the peak of energy, walked out of the cave and looked at the territory of the Arctic silver fox, again with a pair of golden brown wolf eyes. This expedition of wolves has 2 goals. One is to kill the rebellious deer herd to the point of extermination. The second is to collect this adventure in the cold north. The deer herd had been completely killed, and the wolves also occupied half of the land of adventures. But it's not enough. There are still several forces in the land of adventures that can pose a threat to the wolves, especially these Arctic silver foxes. If the wolves want to unify the land of adventures, these Arctic silver foxes are the biggest obstacle. Su Lin, whose strength has skyrocketed, really wants to see how much of the strange talent these Arctic silver foxes possess. It's just that he didn't leave right away. Make up your mind and then move. Su Lin has already asked the little lone wolf to find out the details of the different species in the land of adventures. This land of adventure is luxuriant with water and grass, and naturally a lot of energy fruits are produced after the great change of the world, which leads to a variety of different species, except for the alien species that Su Lin killed in the last battle. There are at least 30 or 40 alien species, large and small. If the war starts without preparation, it is very likely that all the alien species in the land of adventures will unite against the wolves. Even if Su Lin and the wolves can win, they will have to pay a heavy price. Therefore, when the land of adventure is truly unified, it is bound to be nothing if it does not move, and the world will be turned upside down if it moves. It is necessary to make all the alien species in this land of adventures unable to form a bond at all, to let them hear the sound of wolves howling, and only feel their minds cracked in fear, and to face the power of wolves, they can only run away at the wind. This land of adventure can be regarded as the only place with such pure energy in the cold North Pole, except for the mysterious iceberg. Only when the wolves occupy this place can they achieve long-term development in the future, and they can also compete with several extraordinary forces in the mysterious iceberg. What Surin never forgets the most is the Kani Mountain Wolf. The individual strength of the Kani Mountain Wolf is not inferior to that of ordinary grizzlies. Now that several months have passed, it is unknown how far the Kani Mountain Wolf and the mysterious iceberg has grown. If it is true as the wolf population said, there are at least 100 wolves in Mount Kani, then, once they emerge from the mysterious iceberg, they will definitely become a powerful force on the Arctic ice sheet, and they will also become the great enemy of wolves, under Sulin's command. Therefore, the current goal of the wolves is to improve their strength as soon as possible. In this way of thinking, Su Lin looked at the Arctic silver fox territory for a long time before looking back. Next, after returning to the cave, I greeted Xiao Hui, cousin, wolf sister and gray little wolf to come to my side. Surin doesn't have as many exotic flowers and plants in the mysterious iceberg, so he can only increase the strength of several alien species in the wolf pack in a targeted manner. Now Xiao Hui and cousin have reached the late stage of level 10, and wolf sister and gray little wolf have reached level 8. Su Lin took out a branch of cuscuta weed from the depression at the top again. There are a total of 6 branches of the different grass daughter. Su Lin has eaten a total of 4, and there are still 2 left. He took out one of the daughter branches for Xiao Hui, cousin, wolf sister and little gray wolf. Xiao Hui and cousin were the first to follow him, so Su Lin naturally treated them better. The 4 of them are all different species now. The smallest of their huge wolf bodies is 2.78 meters, and the largest is broken through 3 meters. Hearing the call from their boss, they all ran over attentively. When the keen sense of smelled the cuscuta branch rich in pure energy, the wolf eyes showed longing expressions. For such pure energy, no hunter can suppress the desire in his heart. This is also the reason why Su Lin put the cuscuta weed in the top of the cave. Except for the wolves, the rest of the ethnic groups are the same. When I first came to the cave, I found more than a dozen energy fruits in a very hidden corner. It can be seen that the alien muskox king is also planning to keep it for himself to enjoy slowly. Except for the members that I value very much, it is easy to not enjoy this energy fruit. It's just that in the end, these dozen or so energy fruits made Su Lin cheaper. At this time, Su Lin divided the cuscuta weed into 4 sections. Among them, some more are distributed to Xiao Hui. After all, Xiao Hui is a heterogeneous species before the world changed, and its growth potential is far higher than that of wolf sister, gray wolf and cousin. Growth potential also means the degree of absorption and utilization of pure energy. With the same amount of pure energy, Xiao Hui's promotion is often far superior to that of his cousin and wolf sister. After distributing the cuscuta weed to them, the 4 wolves all showed excitement in their eyes. After being signaled by Su Lin, Xiao Hui and cousin started to eat hungrily. The twigs of cuscuta are very bitter and unpalatable to the taste buds of the wolf clan, but because of the temptation of the pure energy in it, they resisted the bitter taste and swallowed the cuscuta weed in their mouths, chewing repeatedly. During the chewing process, Xiao Hui grinned their teeth at the bitter taste. It can be seen that this bitter taste should also be evolved by cuscuta isophyllum in order to protect itself from being swallowed. It's just that I met Su Lin and a group of wolves under Su Lin's command in order to improve their strength. The wolves have never been afraid of a mere bitter taste. If Xiao Hui and cousin really can't bear this bit of hardship, then Su Lin can only give up on their cultivation. After all, no matter how alien they are, after the great changes in the world and the future, if they want to truly gain a foothold and grow into a strong one, wind and rain are indispensable. At this time, every time they chewed, the pure energy in the daughter branch also flowed into the limbs and bones of the wolf along with their saliva. While they were eating the exotic grass daughter, time also passed quietly. Now Su Lin is also thinking about the resources he currently has. There is only 1 branch of cuscuta different grass left, and the main body of cuscuta different grass has not eaten yet. This is also a very rich amount of pure energy, and after eating, a lot of evolutionary value will be recorded. After Su Lin ate several energy fruits in the land of adventures, there were still 11 energy fruits. Surin planned to keep this energy fruit as a reward in the future, to reward the members who have made contributions under his command. As for the heterogeneous flesh and blood, it has more than 60 tons. These days, all the members of the wolves ate together to eat different kinds of flesh and blood, but it was only 4 to 5 tons. With so many different kinds of flesh and blood, if the wolves finish digesting it, then their strength will definitely skyrocket to the point of leaps and bounds. Surin has never devoured the meat of the reindeer among these different kinds of flesh. These days, I have been eating energy fruits and daughter, so he glanced at the corner where the heterogeneous flesh and blood were piled up and walked over. In the place where the flesh and blood of different species are piled up, there are more than 30 jackals under the command of the cousin, the female wolf guards. It can also be regarded as the most closely guarded place by the wolves. After all, food is the most important thing among wolves, not to mention the delicious and pure energy of foreign flesh and blood. Since he has never stepped out of the North Pole, Su Lin naturally does not know that the price of the alien flesh and blood has already been sold to skyrocketing prices. Every gram of heterogeneous flesh and blood has now soared to tens of thousands of dollars. In Russia, which was most severely attacked by cold currents and alien beasts, so much money was enough to enjoy too many services. Due to the rarity and irreplaceability of heterogeneous flesh and blood, it has become a hard currency after the world has changed. 1 gram of foreign flesh and blood is enough to exchange for 2 or 3 months of expenses for an ordinary family. So for a gram of flesh and blood of a different species, there are countless people who have fought in human society. For a gram of flesh and blood of a different species, it is enough to turn several beautiful young girls into playthings. And now Su Lin has a full 60 tons of different kinds of flesh and blood, which is a huge fortune. It's just that Surin doesn't know the price of these heterogeneous flesh and blood in human society. He uses them more as food and fuel for evolutionary value. Seeing the Wolf King coming, the jackal and all the female wolves howled again and again. Although it is said that the right to mate has been devolved, the wolf clan with the status of the second wolf can choose a spouse by itself, but the jackal that has evolved into a different species has also improved a lot in IQ, so naturally he still hopes to find someone stronger than himself as a mate. It's just that there are only a few male wolves stronger than it in the wolf pack. Little Lone Wolf, Little Hui and Little Grey Wolf have no plans to find a mate for the time being. As for the combat power of Fan Lang and Canur, to be honest, they might not be able to defeat it. If it hadn't evolved into a different species, a few days later, it might have surpassed Fan Lang and Connor in strength. So after searching for several days, the jackal couldn't find a suitable mate. In fact, it still retains the original concept of the wolf pack in its heart, and all the female wolves in the wolf pack belong to the Wolf King. So it is of course. So when the Wolf King came over, the jackal excitedly wagged its tail in flattery, but the Wolf King just glanced at it indifferently, then looked away and passed it by. This made the jackal unbearable and a little disappointed. Seeing the Wolf King come to eat next to the huge carcass of the Reindeer King, it also hung its head and squatted in place. In fact, Su Lin knew what the jackal was thinking, not to mention that he still has mysterious spiritual power. Even if he doesn't, he can understand the meaning of jackals through the scent and movements of the wolf clan. After all, wolves do not have as many complex emotions as humans, nor do they cover up as many as humans. The meaning expressed is simple and straightforward, but Su Lin really has no plans in this regard. What he cares more about at the moment is the improvement of strength. When he came to the corpse of the Reindeer King, Su Lin looked at the incomparably delicious reindeer meat, and the glutton in his heart was also aroused, and he began to eat with big mouthfuls. The flesh and blood of different species will not be frozen at all under the cold temperature. It still retains its original delicious taste. Ordinary venison is already the best food, so there is no need to talk about the meat quality of exotic reindeer. Surin tore off a large piece of flesh from the Reindeer King's abdomen and swallowed it into his mouth. The delicious taste of venison spreads in the mouth, and there is a faint blood, sweet and delicious, delicious and tender. The taste of such exotic reindeer meat is also top-notch. After swallowing this flesh and blood into his stomach, a light gray message prompting him to gain evolutionary value appeared before his eyes. Ding! The host eats a different species of reindeer and gains 150 evolution points. The evolution potion I just used still has the triple boost effect, and I got 150 evolution points in one bite. This evolutionary value is not too small. The heterogeneous flesh and blood can only be reduced by 3 points each time, and the evolutionary value of 150 is enough to provide him with tens of thousands of evolutionary points. These evolutionary values combined with the incomparably delicious taste of the exotic venison, Surin also began to eat. He specially picks the plump belly of exotic reindeer to eat. The meat here is fat and thin, which is more delicious. Ding! The host eats the reindeer and gains 147 evolutionary points. Ding! The host eats a different species of reindeer and gains 144 evolutionary points. Ding! The host eats the reindeer and gains 141 evolutionary points. In about 10 minutes, Su Lin ate 40 to 50 caddies of reindeer meat. Now if Su Lin wants to be completely full, he can eat a full 150 to 60 caddies of food. It's just that because I ate a branch of Cuscuta zenagrass and 40 to 50 caddies of reindeer meat, I felt very full. The 40 to 50 caddies of reindeer meat also provided him with thousands of evolutionary points. The evolution value of thousands of points also makes Su Lin a little closer to the next promotion. Next, after eating, Su Lin also turned to look at the sullen jackal. The jackal is the first female xenomorph under the cousin, and has a very good growth potential. In a short period of time, he has grown from the strength of the peak of level 6 to the peak of level 7. Although the growth of heterogeneous species in the early stage, as long as there is pure energy, quantity can be promoted quickly, but in less than a month, he was quickly promoted to the peak of level 7 with the help of different kinds of flesh and blood. This kind of growth rate is still very good. You must know that Fan Lang and Connor became different species before the jackal, and now their strength is comparable to that of the jackal. This means that with the same resources, the future jackal is bound to surpass Fan Lang and Connor. That's why Su Lin took it seriously and gave it a code name. Otherwise, Su Lin would only regard the alien species with average growth potential in the wolf pack as key members, and would not give them a special code name. Looking at the depressed jackal, Su Lin didn't say anything. It just tore another piece of reindeer meat weighing 70 to 80 caddies and threw it in front of the jackal. The jackal looked at the alien flesh thrown by the wolf king and quickly got up and howled again. Su Lin indicated that the 70 to 80 caddies of different species of flesh and blood were rewards for the guard's food. In fact, Su Lin wanted to see how fast the jackal would grow with the abundant flesh and blood of different species. If he is really qualified to be his right-hand man in the future, Su Lin doesn't mind raising Jackal's status even further. Hearing the signal from the Wolf King at this time, the Jackal, who was still a little depressed, suddenly howled happily and excitedly. Amidst the Jackal's excited low howls, Su Lin just nodded to indicate that he didn't stay too long, and returned to his position again. He glanced at Xiao Hui, cousin, Wolf sister, and Grey Wolf, and found that they had already eaten part of the branches of cuscuta weed, and they also had faint emerald green fluorescence flashing on their bodies. This emerald green fluorescence is turning into billowing energy, nourishing every inch of skin and cells of their huge wolf bodies. Under the emerald green fluorescence, the aura of the four of them also became stronger little by little, although no detailed comparison of pure energy has been made. Based on the evolutionary value taken in, Su Lin thinks that this branch of cuscuta is at least equal to 7 or 8 energy fruits, so wait for them to completely digest these pure energies, and their strength will usher in a qualitative leap. While they were eating, Su Lin lay down and rested again in his own position. Now there are many second wolves in the wolf pack, and there are also little lone wolves, who can stand alone, so there are many things in the wolf pack that don't require Su Lin to do anything. They can do a good job of patrolling the territory, guarding, and exploring the details of alien species everywhere. During this period of time, apart from improving his strength daily, Su Lin was thinking about the general direction of the wolves' future development. This land of adventure has an area of 20,000 to 30,000 square kilometers, equivalent to the size of a large city. In the future, if the land of adventures is unified, and counting the original wolf pack territory of Ceylon, it can be said that the area ruled by Ceylon will reach an unprecedented level. But at the same time, the connection between the two places will also become a problem. The territory in the south of Surin is nearly 100 miles away from the land of adventures, which is a very long distance. Such a long distance made it impossible for Su Lin to take into account the situation of the two places all the time. Therefore, it is necessary to leave a capable general to guard the place of adventure, and Su Lin will lead most of the wolves back to the original territory. After all, in the original wolf pack territory, there are still wolf parents and wolf mothers staying behind, and there are also planted different flowered black-fruited galen and several iceberg lotus. When these exotic flowers grow up, they can give Surin an evolutionary value, which is not inferior to the energy fruit of the land of adventures. But what Su Lin is thinking about now is, which one of his subordinates will stay in the place of adventure in the future. Little Lone Wolf, when shown, Polar Bear. There are only 3 of them who have the strength to station in this land of adventure. The strength of the other alien species is still too weak. However, it will take some time to determine who will be stationed in this land of adventure. At least the decision must be made after unifying the land of adventure. In addition, with the current number of wolves, it is beginning to be somewhat powerless to rule such a large area. There is a vast and boundless ice field in this cold north. Although the number of wolves may be relatively small, there will be some after all. Therefore, after all the threats in the land of adventures are truly eliminated, it is imperative for the wolves to expand again. The wolves have plenty of food, and it is not too difficult to expand their members. After all, under the polar night, many wolves would be so hungry that they would eat the old, weak, sick and disabled in order to survive. As long as some food is taken out properly, not only many wolf clans will join, but even many bear clans will actively join. In thinking, time passed by little by little. Under the pitch-black polar night, time seemed to pass by like a fleeting horse, and it took several days in a blink of an eye. During these few days, the wolves did not make any major movements. The daily life of the wolves is very boring and tedious. There are no entertainment activities, and the first goal of all life is survival. Under the goal of survival, when not going out to hunt, it is to rest in the cave. Even if it is to practice hunting and killing skills, it is generally only practiced by cubs with plenty of food. But all adult wolves will not consume physical strength to do this kind of thing. Now many members of the wolf pack have enough rest, that is, cuddling together in twos and threes, and licking their fur. After getting along for such a long time, the members of the wolf pack will naturally have deep feelings for their companions. During these few days, Xiao Hui, cousin sister, wolf sister and gray little wolf also ate up the branches of cuscuta weed, and digested a lot of the pure energy contained in it. Relying on the pure energy of cuscuta weed, the four of them have also gained considerable strength. Xiao Hui has been promoted to the peak of level 12, and her cousin has been promoted to level 12. As for the wolf girl and the little gray wolf, they both broke through to level 10 under the pure energy of the cuscuta weed, and all of their talents were unlocked. Only the aliens who have unlocked their talents can be regarded as real aliens, and only then can they have the capital to gain a foothold after the great change of the world. With a thought, Su Lin checked the attributes and talents of the wolf girl and the little gray wolf. Species: Arctic wolf, exotic. Level 10. Vitality: 1232. Stamina: 127. Strength: 126. Defense: 123. Speed: 131. Talent: Stealth, level D. Species: Arctic wolf, exotic. Level 10. Vitality: 1286. Stamina: 123. Talent: Lower, level D. The attribute values of the two of them appeared in front of Su Lin. He found that the wolf girl's awakened talent was hidden talent, but the hidden talent of wolf girl was D level, and there was still room for upgrading. Presumably, the effect should be weaker, but the stealth talent is excellent whether it is escape or assassination. With such a talent, the survivability of the wolf girl will be greatly improved in the future. If you can't beat it, you can rely on your hidden talent to escape. As for the talent of the little gray wolf, this is the first time Su Lin has seen it. Lore. Facing such a new talent, Su Lin howled in a low voice, and motioned for the little gray wolf to demonstrate it once. It was discovered that the lore talent was similar to the blood-burning potion. It was to burn one's own blood to obtain the strongest power. The more chi and blood you burn, the greater the increase in strength you can get. But the repercussions are also horrific. The value of burning chi and blood is equivalent to overdrawing the life potential. If it is not for the healing talent of the cousin, the gray and white wolf will probably hurt the root if it is the first time to use the talent. Such a talent is also good to use at the last moment of desperation, but it is not used in ordinary wolves fighting. At this time, after the little gray wolf and the wolf sister have advanced to level 10, their status as the second wolf in the wolf pack is even more worthy of their name. Next, Su Lin looked at the little lone wolf again. In the past few days, the little lone wolf has been running around outside. When he comes back, he usually eats about 20 catties of foreign flesh and blood before going out again. It can be said that among the members under Su Lin's command, the little lone wolf is the biggest no matter in terms of credit or hard work, and it is unmatched by any other wolf clan. It has also grown into a wolf that can really lead the wolf pack to conquer everywhere. These days, little lone wolf's strength has improved again, and he has finally been promoted to level 16. The little lone wolf at level 16 has no shortcomings, and almost all attributes are developed comprehensively. Combined with the wolf's talent and its ferocity, even 20-something alien species can fight head to head. During these days, the little lone wolf has roughly figured out the details and strengths of the various alien species in the land of adventures. There are roughly 40 different species in this land of adventures. More than half of them are heterogeneous species below the 10th level, which is not a cause for concern. Alien species below level 10, except for their tenacious vitality and sharper fangs, are not much beyond ordinary species. Hunting and killing this level of alien species can be done by sending out a dozen or so wolves from today's wolves. Among them, there are 13 heads of alien species that are above level 10 but have not reached level 20. Alien species above level 0 have 6 heads. In general, these dozen or so alien species deserve the attention of the wolves. Among the dozens of alien species, the Arctic silver fox is undoubtedly the biggest force. There are 3 Arctic silver foxes above level 20, and 4 Arctic silver foxes over 10 levels. Even the muskox king, the alien reindeer king, and the alien grizzly did not see the Arctic silver fox in their eyes when they teamed up in the land of adventures. So far, the Arctic silver fox still occupies the area with the most abundant aquatic plants and the most energy fruits, and there are hundreds of ordinary Arctic foxes under its command. This is the most difficult bone to crack in the land of adventures, but as long as it is gnawed down, the rest of the alien species in the land of adventures will be no problem. In addition to the Arctic silver fox, there are a group of birds of different species. Among them, the Arctic tern and the alien peregrine are both above level 20, and the alien peregrine is the most powerful. Ordinary peregrine falcons are famous for their speed among flying birds, and their flying speed is close to hundreds of meters per second. Not to mention a 20-level alien peregrine falcon. No one has ever seen its true peak speed, because in the land of adventures, the alien peregrine has never encountered an opponent who can let it show its speed to the fullest. In addition to their two different types of birds, there are 5 different types of birds above level 10, which can be considered very powerful. In the future, the land of unified adventures will inevitably encounter them face to face. The rest of the alien species are common ones, but in the report of the little lone wolf, there was still one alien species that caught Su Lin's attention: exotic lemmings, a heterogeneous lemming with a height of more than 20 levels. Now that Su Lin thinks about it, no matter when he was fighting against the muskox king of the alien species, or when he was killing the alien species outside the land of adventures, the secret spying eyes definitely belonged to the alien species of lemmings. In fact, even Su Lin never imagined that a lemming, which is usually hunted and killed by hunters from all sides, could grow to a level of more than 20. And in the land of adventures, it only occupies a corner, without showing mountains or dew. Such a different species of lemming caught the attention of the little lone wolf as soon as he went to explore its territory, and the two sides even fought fiercely several times. The little lone wolf was at a slight disadvantage. Now, the little lone wolf with a huge wolf body of 6 meters was no match for that alien lemming. In the end, he rushed out relying on his mad wolf talent. Therefore, the alien lemmings with such strength only occupy the most marginal corners, and their Buddhist attitude of not fighting or grabbing makes Su Lin feel very interesting. Either the lemming has no desire for pure energy, or the lemming has other plans. In fact, whether it is the wolf family, the bear family, or the muskox, reindeer and other ethnic groups, in terms of numbers alone, lemmings are the real bearer of the Arctic Circle. The number of lemmings is in the millions. If it is ranked second in the Arctic, no species dares to be the first. However, after searching by the little lone wolf, this alien lemming did not lead any of its kind, which is very unusual. Exotic lemmings. A thoughtful expression flashed in Su Lin's golden brown wolf eyes, and when Su Lin was thinking about how to unify the land of adventures next, at the territory of the southern wolves, after several days of groping and searching, the new human team in the vanguard searched the territories of several wolf packs, but found nothing. All the wolves seemed to have disappeared out of thin air, only empty caves. These caves have not lived in traces of life for a long time. The captain of the new human team, Bob, stepped down from the heavy tank. With a tall body of 2.8 meters and a special protective suit, he looked like a giant. He took the exaggerated double-barreled Vulcan cannon, walked to a cave of wolves, and began to explore. The double-barreled Vulcan cannon in his hand can swallow thousands of large-caliber bullets within a minute. These bullets contain a large dose of toxin. As long as they cut through the skin and flesh of exotic animals, they can quickly lose their combat effectiveness. It can be said that these exaggerated individual weapons were developed to fight against alien beasts. At the same time, these weapons can only be used by new humans, powerful humans who have unlocked the genetic shackles. Otherwise, the weight and strong recoil alone are not something ordinary people can bear. Bob was followed by several members of the new human team, including several experts who had in-depth research on the North Pole. Looking at these lifeless caves, he turned his eyes to these scholars and experts, wanting them to give a reply. After all exploration routes are based on previous observation records of scholars and experts on the North Pole, but many experts and scholars were at a loss in the face of such a scene. After pondering for a long time, he expressed his views one after another. They were forced to explore the North Pole, and they must show their value. Otherwise they might be abandoned by these powerful new human teams. Because it is the era after the great change of the world. In such a cruel era, there is no previous supremacy of life. In today's era, and in such an Arctic where there is no signal, even if these powerful new humans kill them, they don't need to pay any responsibility. No one would even spread the news of their death out of this cold place, afraid of losing value. An elderly expert was the first to speak. There are indications that these wolf dens have been vacant for a long time, and the wolves and other species in this area may have died after the terrible war, frozen to death in the cold current, or escaped to other places. Of course, it is more likely that the body and traces were covered by a snowstorm, because through the study of the ice and snow layer, it was found that there was a long-lasting disaster here, horrible blizzard. The elderly expert was very cautious and did not draw a definite conclusion, but only stated a variety of assumptions, giving himself room to maneuver. If this kind of reply was in a peaceful age, it might still be adopted and discussed, but in this day and age, the words of this elderly expert have aroused the dissatisfaction of the Vice Captain Sander. I let you say the conclusion, not the hypothesis. Is it because you were raised in the pampered age? Sander is still polite to Captain Bob, because Bob is stronger than him, and Bob once saved his life on a battlefield in Siberia to siege a huge brown bear. In addition, although Sander is stable in commanding operations, he pays more attention to efficiency and results in daily affairs. He doesn't like to listen to other people's hypocrisy, especially for such so-called experts and scholars who used to be superior. These bullshit experts and scholars used to rely on capital and status to exploit ordinary people. Otherwise, why did such a group of bastards become masters in the past? Fortunately, a great change has changed the status quo. Only human beings whose genes are good enough and whose growth potential is monstrous enough can unlock the genetic shackles in their bodies. So these new humans stand out. Sander, who was not well educated at this time, frowned and replied. This made the old expert's old face flush suddenly, and he was speechless. Looking at this incompetent and useless expert, Sander looked very bad. If it wasn't for Bob's restraint, he might have gone up and slapped the elder expert twice. The 2 slaps from the new human beings were powerful enough to make this old expert clearly recognize his status in such an area without even a signal, and even under the premise that no one can go back alive. Sander and the others no longer have the concept of law and morality in their minds. If it weren't for the restraint of human nature in the past, he would have already let these bullshit experts and scholars know what cruelty is. Under the deterrence of Sander's words, the remarks of all scholars and experts are also more cautious and concise. But there was no reply that satisfied Bob and Sander, even the replies from Tiffany and Divina. After all, the 2 of them are still students, and their in-depth understanding of real biological behavior research and the real Arctic is far less than the rest. In the end, Bob and Sander could only take back the idea of pressing the question and decided to continue exploring. If it is true that no trace of living things can be found in the end, it can only be said that those living things in the North Pole may really have completely died under the terrifying cold current. In this way of thinking, Bob and a group of people also boarded the heavy tank again and continued to move forward. However, in the direction of further progress, it is suddenly near the cave where the wolf father and wolf mother are, and also near the cave where a herbivore group is kept in captivity. The small detection radar on the heavy tank is also running all the time. The detection range of the radar is also limited in the cold North Pole, but it can still detect signs of life in the surrounding 30 to 40 kilometers. As long as you pass near the cave of wolf father and mother wolf, you will find something. At this time, the wolf father and wolf mother, who were at the entrance of the wolf pack cave, also brought the wolves under their command. With a very solemn expression, the wolf father and wolf mother are discussing through howling. In order to avoid those copper-colored giant beasts, and leave the territory they have worked hard for a long time, it is still necessary to lead the wolves to fight to the death with these invading copper-colored behemoths. After all, in today's dark polar night, giving up the territory of the wolves is equivalent to giving up the prey in captivity. With food so expensive and scarce, how long the wolves can last is also unknown in their minds. As for the cubs in the north of Sinhan, the wolf father and wolf mother also sent 2 wolf clans to find and inform them, but the range in the north is too large, and wolf father and wolf mother don't know if they can find and notify Su Lin.
Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.